Chapter 88. Han Fei pondered over the information brought by this string of data. First of all, his spiritual heritage might not be able to be upgraded for the time being. It seemed to be restricted by some unknown force. He tried to upgrade it with spiritual energy, but there was no reaction. Secondly, the changes brought about by his level. This time he must have spent a lot of spiritual energy to promote to a fishing master, which directly pushed him to the peak of a junior fishing master. And it was this number that explained the problem. Everyone's concept of fishing masters was that they were divided into grades, but the data showed that he was level 13. It seemed that the grade was secondary, which was very important. This meant that there might be a big gap between junior fishing masters. Even though his upper limit of spiritual energy had been increased to 559 points, Han Fei still felt that there was still a lot of room for improvement in the field of junior fishing masters. After all, he hadn't practiced the incomplete monograph on 108 ways of body polishing, and his physique was not really at its peak yet. Thinking of this, Han Fei felt that it was necessary for him to consolidate his strength now. As the saying goes, more haste, less speed. It was good to become stronger, but if his strength improved too fast, there would definitely be problems. This was common sense. Of course, Han Fei didn't intend to practice the incomplete monograph on 108 ways of body polishing here. He hadn't explored this 100 square meter space yet. Han Fei looked down and found that the two little fishes, Little Black and Little White, were shining with spiritual energy. Did these two little fishes improve too fast? Their stomachs were bulging. Of course, what surprised Han Fei most was that the white liquid in this pool had completely disappeared. He must have used too much when expanding Forge the Universe. Otherwise, the amount of spiritual energy contained in the white liquid was enough to blow him up dozens of times. Han Fei took back Little Black and Little White and began to explore the space. In addition to the bed, tables, and chairs, there was also a special place for cultivation. When he saw this, Han Fei knew that his cultivation method was wrong. Even the owner didn't sit in the pool to cultivate, but Han Fei sat in the pool like an idiot, mainly because of the influence of the Mantis Shrimp King's footprints. Walking past the place where the cave owner cultivated, Han Fei found a few pits on the rock wall. He walked over and found 2 books on them. Han Fei picked up a book without a name and took a look. It was roughly the cave owner's self-record of cultivation. The record only began when the man discovered the underwater cave. On the first page, it said, "I was defeated and fell here. I thought I would die for sure, but God took pity on me and let me find a spiritual spring in an ordinary fishery. Unfortunately, my injuries are too heavy and the spiritual spring is too little. I am unable to make up for my losses. I know I don't have much time left, but there is nothing I can do. Page 2, my foundation has been damaged and I can no longer cultivate. Forget it. What's the harm in being buried here? Page 3, on the 7th day of lying here waiting for death, the spiritual energy in my body has dried up, and I can't absorb any spiritual energy from the spirit spring. I know I'm done for. Page 4, this sea area is rich in mantis shrimps, and they taste good. I accompany mantis shrimps every day. Page 5, why aren't you dead? I've been waiting for death here for a month. Why haven't I died yet? Page 6, I've made a shocking discovery. Do cultivators really only need to cultivate spiritual energy? Wrong, very wrong. After eating mantis shrimps for a long time, I found that my blood and chi were abundant. My spiritual power and blood are intertwining, and I can control objects in the air without spiritual energy. See God, I've discovered a great secret. Do cultivators really only need to cultivate spiritual energy? No, spiritual energy cultivation is just one way, but there is another way to cultivate oneself. When he read this, Han Fei's heart beat fast. What does this person mean? He already has no spiritual energy, but he can still cultivate. What does this mean? Han Fei couldn't wait to turn the pages. Page 7-inch, it took me a year to create a physical combat method. At this moment, I feel that my body is so strong that even hidden fissures are no match for it. But there are still some shortcomings. I know my spiritual power is seriously damaged. Ha ha ha! Wait for me. When I find a way to repair my spiritual power, I will break through the 1,000-star city one day. Han Fei hurriedly turned the pages, only to find that there was no follow-up. Did this mean that this strong master had left to find a way to repair his spiritual power? F***CK. I feel like I missed 100 million yuan. However, Han Fei looked at another book, and after turning the first page, he saw 3 big words: indestructible body. Han Fei was shocked. He felt that he had missed 100 million yuan just now. But now this awesome guy left the physical cultivation method to him? Han Fei opened the cultivation method excitedly, but the first page was not a cultivation method. Han Fei frowned and thought it was written on it, "I don't know who will inherit my indestructible body, but since you can enter here as a fisher, it shows that you are very talented. You have 2 choices. First, don't cultivate and leave the indestructible body here. Second, cultivate. Even if you are a good-for-nothing, as long as you are willing to work hard, your body can be as strong as a god. However, if you cultivate the indestructible body, you will be half a disciple of Ren Tianfei. When you go to the 1,000-star city in the future, don't get involved with me. Otherwise, you will probably be killed by my enemies. Of course, it is also possible that you are a good-for-nothing who still died on the way after getting my indestructible body. But it doesn't matter. I left you a map. If you can set foot in the level 3 fishery one day, you can look for it. If you can't even go to the level 3 fishery and can't even find the place where my treasures are, then you are basically a good-for-nothing, and I don't want you as my disciple." Sure enough, Han Fei found a fish skin map at the end of the book. It was a map of the sea area that he had never seen before. The terrain was very complicated and a red that was circled on it. Han Fei didn't know whether to laugh or cry. How arrogant this person is. He wants to break through a city and become a god, but it's really domineering. I like it so much. Han Fei turned the book and snorted. I won't have anything to do with you. I don't know what kind of enemies I will encounter if I fight all the way from the city to here. Do you think I am your disciple just because you say I am? Then I will lose face. At most, I will owe you a favor. He turned the page and saw that it said, the mystery of the human body can basically be divided into 5 levels: skin, flesh, viscera, bone, and marrow. When you reach the advanced level of skin toughening, you will be invincible in close combat. When you reach the advanced level of viscera tempering, you can recover from all kinds of injuries. When you reach the advanced level of bone toughening, your fists will be as hard as divine weapons. When you reach the advanced level of marrow tempering, you will achieve ice skin and jade bones, and you will become an immortal and become a god. Han Fei was drooling as he read it. What a treasure! It's so awesome! It's completely different from those garbage books in the library of the Heavenly Water Village. This is the real divine art. This is the real genius. But Han Fei's first reaction was to look at the data of the indestructible body. Indestructible body, venerable level, peerless quality. Remarks, the peerless heavenly talent of the 1,000-star city created the indestructible body technique, which is only one step away from a divine quality technique. Deduced technique, indestructible body, deduction cost 100 million points. Han Fei was dumbfounded. He felt that his eyes were dazzled and even rubbed them. F***CK, why don't you rob a bank? You can't get so much spiritual energy even if you rob a bank. 100 million points? Are you trying to kill me? Han Fei was speechless. 100 million points? Isn't the incomplete monograph on 108 ways of body polishing also a venerable level? Why is this venerable level so awesome? Deducing 100 million points? Although Han Fei was shocked, he just complained. After all, a combat skill like the Shadowless Hand was only a mortal level divine quality combat skill. while the indestructible body technique was a venerable level combat skill. Although he didn't know the specific level of the technique, he knew how much spiritual energy it would cost to deduce it. If it wasn't an amazing technique, how could it cost so much spiritual energy? Han Fei immediately threw the book into Forge the Universe. Since he got it, he would never leave it to others. If it was taken away by others, how could he cry? Han Fei walked around the cave and found nothing else, so he walked out without hesitation. When he left, he said to the air, "I've taken the treasure away. I'll definitely go to the next treasure. Wait for me. I'm a professional in treasure hunting." Read 2. Chapter 89. Li Ju had long received the news that Han Fei had stolen his fishing boat and gone to sea. For this reason, the village leader said that when Han Fei came back, he would lock his fishing boat in his house and let this kid stay on the floating island. Of course, the news couldn't be concealed. Li Ju had been waiting for this moment for a long time. A few days ago, Han Fei killed a fishing master. If Han Fei was given more time, he might really be used as a whetstone and he would never be able to avenge his son. Li Ju went to sea. Instead of leaving the port, he used the tiger's fishing boat. Although Li Ju left quietly, he still couldn't escape the attention of some people. At this moment in the plantation, the village leader was angry. "Old Jiang, did you really let that kid go out? If he dies at sea, how can our heavenly water village explain it to Tango when he comes back?" Old Jiang lay in a chair and said slowly, "Bullsh asterisk T. Tang Go kept Li Ju alive just to let him be a whetstone for that kid." Whetstone? How can it be called whetstone without going through wind and rain and life and death? If he dies, he can only blame himself for his incompetence. Who else can he blame? The village leader said angrily, "It's easy for you to say that. You are not the village leader. Of course you don't feel any pressure. Besides, Li Ju has gone to sea. Although I have asked Wang Jie to look for him, the ordinary fishery is so big. I don't know if he can be found. What if?" At this moment, Jiang Qin appeared. "Han Fei is not as bad as you think. Although he is no match for Li Ju, it's not a problem for him to escape." The village leader was dumbfounded. What does she mean? A peak-level fishing master can chase a fisherman and escape? Outside the cave, Han Fei happily took out the mantis shrimp beads from the heads of the mantis shrimp and stuffed the body of the mantis shrimp king into Forge the Universe. After all, the shell of this thing was really hard and he could use it to make a few knives. Only 168 mantis shrimp beads. Looking at the dead bodies all over the ground, Han Fei didn't know what to say. He could only say that the mantis shrimp's combat power was too strong. With only 100 mantis shrimp, they almost wiped out thousands of fish and crabs. In the end, at least half of the mantis shrimp king was killed. If it hadn't been bitten to death by Little Black, no matter how many fish and crabs there were, they would still have been killed. Swimming out of the trench, Han Fei glanced at the wreckage of the fishing boat around and went straight to the surface. Along the way, some snake belts tried to bite Han Fei, but Little Black was no longer the Little Black of yesterday. It was 10 centimeters bigger and didn't look like a baby fish anymore. The so-called snake belt was bitten in half by Little Black's mouth, and it had no strength to fight back. On the surface of the sea, Han Fei's first reaction was that it was not even noon yet. Han Fei let out a sigh of relief. That was good. Although the boat-burying pit was not very remote, it was still nearly 500 kilometers away from the Heavenly Water Village. There shouldn't be many people who would fly here to fish. Little Black, Little White, go and find where my boat is. Of course, Han Fei didn't see his boat. He didn't know where it had drifted all night, but it shouldn't be more than 50 kilometers away. So, while practicing wind step, he searched around. If someone was nearby at this time, they would definitely be shocked to the point that their eyeballs would fall out. They would see a guy walking on air above the sea as if he was flying. Although he could only fly dozens of meters at most and would fall into the sea after 100 meters, he was still flying. How could people not be shocked? When Han Fei found the white fishing boat, it was already 30 kilometers away. He ran in the wrong direction and turned around. During this period, he also saw 2 fishing boats, and some people were fishing. But of course, Han Fei couldn't let them find him, so he kept moving underwater, like a big human-shaped fish. Pooh! After getting on the boat, Han Fei was not in a hurry to go back. He stole the fishing boat and ran back. He was afraid that if he went back, he wouldn't be able to get out, so he had to continue farming in the plantation. But Han Fei didn't want to farm now. He had already learned the spirit concentration art. Unless the old man was going to teach him something new, what was the point of farming? He didn't know if Jiang Qin had any new combat skills for him. But after thinking about it, he remembered that he had just practiced 5 combat skills, which was enough for now. Besides, what good things could there be in the Heavenly Water Village? He might as well stay at sea and study the indestructible body art. If he could master it, he would be really awesome. Of course, Han Fei was not in a hurry. He started practicing the incomplete monograph on 108 ways of body polishing. He had just become a fishing master and needed to temper his body. When Han Fei practiced the 108 postures again, he felt that it was easier, maybe because of the improvement of his strength. If it took nearly 6 hours to practice the 108 postures once before, it seemed that it only took him 4 hours now. Just when Han Fei was practicing the 8th posture, he heard swish, and something broke through the air to him. Han Fei immediately stopped practicing and dodged to the side, only to see a fish hook shining with spiritual energy appear in his cultivation place. When he took a closer look, there was already a fishing boat dozens of meters away. When Li Ju found that his map was stolen and then Han Fei stole a boat and fled, he knew that Han Fei must have seen his sea map. He thought that Han Fei would go to the seabed grotto first, because he didn't mark that place on the map. However, after searching around the seabed grotto, he didn't find it, so he went to the gathering place of the spirit-absorbing jellyfish. After all, he got his tiger-head fish from there. However, Li Ju was surprised to find that there were no spirit-absorbing jellyfish there either, so he guessed that this guy was courting death by going to the boat-burying pit. Li Ju hoped that Han Fei wouldn't really go down. Otherwise, Han Fei would be torn to pieces before he could take revenge. After all, the Mantis Shrimp King was too terrifying. He felt lucky that he was able to escape. Han Fei, thief, I've finally caught you. Let's see where you can run today. Looking at Li Ju, who was leaping over, Han Fei stretched out his hand and the purple bamboo rod shone. BM, Han Fei took 7 or 8 steps back and felt his arms slightly numb. He narrowed his eyes. Li Ju was really a peak-level fishing master. His strength was really terrifying. But Li Ju was shocked. Han Fei took a blow from him and was still fine? Have you become a fishing master? Han Fei twisted his neck. As you wish. I've just become a fishing master. Coincidentally, you're here. Li Ju was shocked. How could this thief's talent be so terrifying? In the past, he suspected that it was because of Tanggu that Han Fei had been advancing so smoothly and quickly. But now it was different. What was Han Fei's level when Tanggu left? But now Han Fei was a fishing master? Li Ju's face changed slightly. Even if you are a fishing master, so what? I'll kill you today. Han Fei continued. How do you know that I didn't wait for you here on purpose? The floating island restricts your movement and also restricts me. Since you're here, you don't have to go back. Arrogant. Go to hell. After Li Ju launched a wild spiritual energy explosion, Han Fei, who also launched a spiritual energy explosion, was directly blasted more than 20 meters away. Just one blow made Han Fei's arms numb and his internal organs tumble. This time his internal organs were really tumbling, and his internal organs were very uncomfortable. But just when Li Ju thought Han Fei was going to fall into the water, Han Fei stepped on the air as if a gust of wind had sent him back. At this moment, Han Fei looked fierce and chuckled, which was indescribably weird. How is it possible? Li Ju was really shocked. Just now, he had used 80% of his strength in the blow, but Han Fei was still unscathed and could even hit him. Clang, clang, clang. Han Fei's speed was extremely fast. The purple bamboo rod was like a dagger in his hand, which was fancy but aimed directly at the vital parts. The eyes, the throat, the genitals, the armpits, wherever the tricky place was where it went. No, did you use a secret method? Li Ju's face changed. Han Fei was stronger than before. He could clearly feel it. Han Fei was a little crazy. The more he fought, the fiercer he became, and the more powerful he was. But in his heart, the guy who created the crazy devil's rod killed 2 fishing masters with the strength of a fisherman, so it was not impossible for him to kill him. But after fighting for several minutes, Han Fei found that Li Ju didn't make a sound and didn't retreat at all. He seemed to be evenly matched with him. This old B** Starred wants to exhaust the spiritual energy in my body. Read 2. Chapter 90. Han Fei smiled. You want to exhaust me with spiritual energy? What makes you think you can do that? Explode! Li Ju's eyes were cold. When Han Fei used spiritual energy explosion, he also used spiritual energy explosion. Han Fei flew backward again, but every time he was smashed away, he would come back and fight with Li Ju again. In just a few minutes, Han Fei was smashed away 7 or 8 times, but he was still shouting. Li Ju, as the leader of the Tigers, is that all you've got? Aren't you a peak-level fishing master? Aren't you almost a great fishing master? Come on, hit me, kill me. Li Ju was so angry that he almost vomited blood. What kind of opportunity did Han Fei get? How could he be so powerful? Was his spiritual energy really endless? If he couldn't kill Han Fei today, how could he beat him in the future? Kill! Suddenly, Li Ju smashed Han Fei away with an explosive strike and took the opportunity to stuff a spirit-refilling pill into his mouth. Just when Han Fei rushed at him again, he suddenly frowned. Something's wrong. In the blink of an eye, Han Fei stepped back. At the same time, Li Ju directly disassembled the rod into 2 pieces, revealing 2 thin knives and stabbing at Han Fei. Han Fei hurriedly changed his posture, and the 2 thin knives almost brushed past his body. Han Fei's face changed slightly. What a tricky angle. Did this guy learn it from me? But those were knives, not rods. Even if he was strong, he couldn't withstand the knife stab. Oh, the leader of the Tigers is not so good. Is that all you've got? Li Ju stood, looked at Han Fei coldly, and shouted, I have to say, you may be the most talented person in the Heavenly Water Village in the past 100 years, except Tanga. But so what? I, Li Ju, fought my way to where I am today in the ordinary fishery. Since you want to die, I'll help you. Tiger attach. Han Fei narrowed his eyes. He had been waiting for this moment. Although Li Ju was evenly matched with him, he didn't use his full strength. Even when he used Mad Devil's Rod, he was only able to tie with him. It could be seen that although the Crazy Devil's Rod was powerful, it couldn't kill enemies 3 levels higher. The one who created the Crazy Devil's Rod should be a junior fishing master. Han Fei said, Little Black, bite him. Li Ju subconsciously glanced around and found nothing unexpected. But the next moment he felt a pain in his thigh. He looked down and found that a piece of flesh had been bitten. Li Ju's expression changed drastically. What was that? Before Li Ju could react, another bite came from the same spot on his thigh. Buzz! At this time, Li Ju couldn't care less about anything else and directly activated the spiritual energy protective cover. Li Ju asked, What is this? What kind of demonic magic did you use? Han Fei chuckled. When you're about to die, I'll tell you. At this moment, Han Fei also activated a spiritual energy protective cover and attacked again. But this time the feeling was completely different. Li Ju's saber was so fierce that it even broke his spiritual energy explosion. Han Fei was cut in the chest. Although his body was not broken, his spiritual energy protective cover was directly broken. Interesting. After being possessed by the tiger-head fish, you've improved a level, but so what? You're still a peak-level fishing master. What can you do to me? Han Fei avoided Li Ju's double knives, jumped in the air, and said, "Fuse." In the next moment, a yin-yang pattern instantly appeared on his body, and Han Fei's eyes turned black and white, and his momentum soared. Li Ju's face changed drastically. Impossible. How can a spirit swallowing fish bring such a strong fusion effect? Ha! In Han Fei's eyes, Li Ju's blood was flowing and spiritual energy was surging in his meridians. Clang! The corner of Li Ju's mouth trembled. Just now he saw a flash of cold light. Was his spiritual energy protective cover broken? He turned around, only to see Han Fei holding 2 knives in his hands. Where was the purple bamboo rod? Do you also use knives? Han Fei chuckled. Ha! Han Fei felt bloodthirsty. When he felt this feeling again, he was still terrified. At the moment of fusion, he felt that his strength should have surpassed that of a junior fishing master. Li Ju's movements were not so fast, and his strength didn't seem to be so fierce. Kill! They both wielded dual blades, and the 2 of them fought back and forth. But in less than 100 moves, Li Ju had more than a dozen wounds on his body, and his spiritual energy protective cover was broken 3 times. Li Ju muttered, "How is it possible? How can you be so strong? Your spiritual beast is not a spirit swallowing fish." At this time, Han Fei's face was ferocious and his voice was hoarse. "My spiritual beast. Twin. Yin-yang. Spirit swallowing fish." Li Ju was shocked. Judging from the name, it was not an ordinary spirit swallowing fish, but a very powerful mutation. This kind of fusion was too terrifying. Every time he was about to slash him, Han Fei would dodge it. Even if it was only a hair's breadth away, he couldn't really cut him. Li Ju shouted, "I don't want to give up. Bladefish, fuse!" In the next moment, a blade fish rushed into Li Ju's body from the void. Few people knew that Li Ju used knives, but very few people knew that Li Ju had a spiritual beast. Everyone knew that Li Ju had a tiger head fish as a contractual spiritual fish, but as for his spiritual beast, everyone thought that Li Ju's spiritual beast was long dead or didn't exist at all. Who knew that Li Ju's spiritual beast was the most common blade fish? Obviously, blade fish spiritual beasts were too common and could be found all over the streets of the Heavenly Water Village. However, such a person became the leader of the tigers. Han Fei was very calm. His eyes were black and white, and no one could tell what he was thinking. In fact, Han Fei just wanted to slash people at this moment. He raised his knives again and dashed over. The 2 knives in his hands were like flying butterflies, which were very gorgeous. But this time he failed to break Li Ju's spiritual energy protective cover. From time to time, Han Fei saw a knife shoot out from Li Ju's body. Although it was inconspicuous, it couldn't escape his eyes. Puff! Han Fei looked down at the wound on his right shoulder that was pierced by the knife chi. He clearly saw the knife chi coming, but his body couldn't react in time. Li Ju sneered. "You have a lot of means, but so what? Your real strength is only a junior fisher. How long can you maintain these special combat states?" Han Fei raised his knives and spat out 2 words again, "Fury." In an instant, Han Fei approached Li Ju and waved the 2 knives like phantoms. Li Ju only managed to block the first 10 knives and couldn't even block the second one. In the blink of an eye, there were more than a dozen wounds on his body, dripping with blood. And this kind of brutal battle was still going on. "Impossible!" Li Ju roared in despair. "Why can this guy still become stronger?" 7 or 8 knives shot out from his body at once. But Han Fei twisted his body in all kinds of strange postures, none of which could be done by ordinary people. None of the 7 or 8 knives could touch Han Fei. Chilla! Chilla! After dozens of seconds, Li Ju became a bloody man. Looking at his hands, they were not hands at all, but 2 complete bones, and the skin and flesh on them had completely disappeared. Li Ju looked at his palms that had become skeletons in horror, and then looked at the 2 knives inserted in his chest. Han Fei looked calm, and his black and white pupils seemed to show signs of extinguishing. But in the end, they didn't. Han Fei grinned, and his gloomy face was full of blood. He pulled Li Ju over, opened his mouth, and bit his neck. After dozens of minutes, Han Fei struggled to get out of the fusion. At the moment of contact, he opened his mouth and vomited. King bit someone again. I didn't want to bite someone. Little Black, you shameless fish. Human flesh doesn't taste good? EW, of course, Han Fei didn't really eat people. He just bit off the flesh on Li Ju's neck and bit Li Ju to death. But he didn't eat the human flesh. Maybe because his consciousness was against it, he spat it out. But even so, the strong smell of blood almost made him faint. Han Fei took a few spirit-refilling pills and lay on the fishing boat exhausted. Seeing this, Little White swam over and kissed Han Fei's cheek, then swam to Han Fei's mouth and spat a mouthful of pure spiritual energy into Han Fei's mouth. EW, Han Fei wanted to pass out. Not only did I eat people, but I also ate the spiritual energy spat out by fishes. Although this spiritual energy is very pure, it's still spat out. Read 2. Chapter 91. In the evening, Han Fei was found by Wang Jie. The moment Wang Jie boarded the fishing boat, his face changed drastically. The deck was stained with blood and some pieces of flesh. Li Ju's rod and knife were still on the deck. Han Fei! Han Fei! Han Fei knew that Wang Jie was here, but he didn't open his eyes. He was too tired and didn't want to move. Teacher, I'm fine. Wang Jie took a long breath and asked, Where is Li Ju? Han Fei pointed to the deck and said, He was thrown into the sea to feed the fish. Wang Jie was dumbfounded. Li Ju is dead? Li Ju, who had been domineering for many years, is dead? How powerful was Han Fei to be able to kill Li Ju? Wang Jie asked, How did you kill him? Han Fei stretched out and sat up. I used the life-saving talisman that Tang Ge gave me. Wang Jie rolled his eyes. Life-saving talisman? If you really had that, why did you have to stain the deck with blood? If you really have a life-saving talisman, why are you so tired? But Wang Jie was still deeply shocked. No matter how Han Fei did it, he did it, which meant that Han Fei had the strength to kill a peak-level fishing master. And Li Ju was not an ordinary peak-level fishing master, but a great fishing master. Wang Jie asked, Have you made a breakthrough? Yes. Wang Jie was stunned. How old is he? A 12-year-old child who has just passed the fishing trial is already a fishing master? A few months ago, he was still a level 2 fisher, the kind of weakling who could pinch several to death with one hand. Wang Jie asked, What are you going to do next? Han Fei finally returned to the village with Wang Jie. As soon as the fishing boat arrived at the port, it was taken away by the village leader. But when the village leader saw Han Fei, he exclaimed, You've become a fishing master? With the village leader's exclamation, many people looked at Han Fei. What the hell? This little kid is already a fishing master? Someone said, Isn't this the Han Fei who won the first place in the fishing trial? It's only been a few days and he's already a fishing master? Someone was speechless. I've lived half of my life in vain. I haven't become a level 7 fisher yet, but he's already a fishing master. Someone patted him on the shoulder. Forget it, bro. You can't compare yourself to others. What spirit vein do you have? It's just a lower grade, first grade spirit vein. What else do you want? It's good enough that you're still alive. Someone also remarked, My boy has a spiritual heritage of level 1, high quality, but he's only a level 6 fisher. How shameful. Shoot, your family is already a level 6 fisher with a spiritual heritage of level 1, high quality. My family's level 2 lower grade is only level 6. What? Your family is already level 6? Why is my family only level 5? Suddenly, the trend changed. People kept a respectful distance from geniuses, and no one mentioned Han Fei's previous appearance of being a good-for-nothing. In the crowd, all the sea melon seeds in Zhang Han's hands were scattered on the ground. He was stunned. Back then, he even blackmailed Han Fei and went to his barbecue stall to pick a fight with him. Most importantly, he heard that Han Fei stole a boat and went to sea this morning, and Li Ju, the leader of the tigers, chased after him. Now that Han Fei was back, what about Li Ju? Zhang Han had a terrible thought in his mind. Could Li Ju be dead? At the departure port, Li Gang and Li Qing hurriedly came to greet them. Li Gang said, "Young master, it's great that you're back. I was scared to death. How could you steal a boat and go to sea? Did Li Ju find you?" "Forget it. He must not have found you. Young master, don't be capricious next time." Li Qing's lips moved, but he didn't speak. He was really lucky to come back alive. Han Fei smiled and patted Li Gang on the shoulder. "Little Gang, put your ear close to me." Li Gang quickly put his ear close to him. Although he didn't know what was going on, he was sure it would be okay to put his ear close to him. "What?" Li Gang looked at Han Fei in shock. He was so scared that he almost peed his pants. Han Fei said, "Don't be so dramatic. Hurry up." Li Gang immediately felt refreshed. "Yes, young master." After seeing Han Fei leave, Han Fei said to Li Qing, "Uncle Qing, let's go to the barbecue stall. Today we open a stall and it's free." "Huh." Before Li Qing could react, Han Fei shouted to the sky, "Everyone listen to me. Li Ju, the leader of the tigers, is dead. Today, the world's most delicious barbecue stall reopens." "Free, free!" The crowd froze and didn't know what to say. Han Fei had left. Someone scratched his head. "Wait, what did he just say?" "He seemed to say that Li Ju of the tigers is dead, isn't he?" "That's impossible, right? He's a peak-level fishing master. How can he die so easily?" "That's not right. I heard that Li Ju went to Han Fei. How can Han Fei be Li Ju's opponent?" "I don't understand. But let's go to the barbecue stall. What if it's true?" Someone chuckled. "If it's true, thank God. Li Ju has done a lot of harm to people. I'll be happy if he's really dead. Let's go together." "Wait for me. I'll go too." Wang Jia looked at Han Fei's arrogant look. He really didn't know whether Han Fei was real or not. He didn't know that Han Fei had such a side to him before. But what was this kid going to do? However, he could still get a free barbecue. It would be a waste not to take it. Half an hour later, the world's most delicious barbecue stall. Li Gang, Little Red, and Li Qing were busy. Since Li Qing came, the area of the barbecue stall had expanded a little. He also joined the barbecue army, and a shed was set up on the barbecue stall. Han Fei was standing on this shed at the moment. The road in front of him was already crowded with people. Everyone came to watch the fun, including the other 2 blocks of the East City, and even the South City, North City, and West City. When they heard that Li Ju was dead, they all came to see what happened. Just now, Li Gang went to call the members of the Tigers and told them the news of Li Ju's death. But the members of the Tigers didn't believe it. But no matter whether they believed it or not, Han Fei was back. So a large number of people came and looked warily at Han Fei standing on the roof of the shed. "Everyone be quiet!" Han Fei took a breath and said, "Everyone, the floating island is a place where we settle down. Li Ju and Li Hu, father and son of the Tigers, are arrogant and domineering. They have bullied the innocent people for a long time and have already angered everyone. I, Han Fei, did not let you down. A month ago, I killed Li Ju's son, Li Hu, on the sea. Now, I, Han Fei, killed Li Ju on the sea and reunited him with a son. Congratulations." "Nonsense. Our leader is a peak-level fishing master. How could he be killed by you?" Han Fei's eyes turned cold, and he looked at this person. The coldness in his eyes scared him to shut up. Han Fei snorted, took out Li Ju's rod, and said, "This is Li Ju's rod. When separated, it's 2 knives. It's quite unique. But no matter how unique it is, it can't stop me from killing evil for the people. This is absolutely true. If you don't believe me, you can ask Master Wang Jie, the inspector of ordinary fisheries. Wang Jie was also in the crowd. Seeing so many people looking at him, he thought to himself, I'm just here to get a barbecue. How dare this kid show off his name? What is he going to do? But seeing that Han Fei was his student, Wang Jie said solemnly, when I arrived, Li Ju was already dead. Wow. Really? Ha ha ha, great, Li Ju, that stinky salted fish is finally dead. Master Sea God, Li Ju is dead. I'm so happy. For a time there was an uproar. Obviously, Li Ju's death made many people excited, especially those who had been oppressed by the tigers. They were very happy at this moment, and the thugs of the tigers were all stunned. Their leader is dead? It's over. How can we protect the tigers? Quiet! When the commotion in the crowd stopped, Han Fei said, the tigers have done all kinds of evil. Everyone knows that. But with Li Ju's death, the tigers have disappeared. Now, I, Han Fei, have a big event to announce to you. Huh, what's the big event? Someone asked curiously. Han Fei stopped smiling and said seriously, our heavenly water villages, floating island, should have a quiet and peaceful atmosphere. In the past, the tigers used to collect protection fees and kill people for their goods. But I, Han Fei, am going to establish a brand new gang. A gang that can provide shelter for the fishermen and improve the quality of life of everyone. I, Han Fei, want to establish the fish dragons. From now on, I will never bully the people. Now, the fish dragons officially accept new members. The requirement to join the gang is the strength of a level 8 fisher or above. Is anyone willing to join? Read 2. Chapter 92. Everyone was stunned. What the hell? A 12-year-old child wanted to establish a gang? In the crowd, Wang Jie was stunned, feeling as if there were 10,000 iron-head fish galloping in his heart. Was he hallucinating? Han Fei wanted to establish a gang? Can you do it? Zhang Han was dumbfounded. He had never seen such a thing. How old are you? You want to establish a gang? Li Gang and Li Qing were also dumbfounded. What kind of master did they follow? Isn't this a little too arrogant and conceited? They only trembled in fear. I'd better continue to make barbecue. Han Fei glanced around and seeing no reaction from anyone, he immediately said, everyone, the fish dragons have just been established and the recruitment conditions are limited. The quota is limited to 200 people. At the same time, from today on, the fish dragons will take over all the industries of the tigers. Li Ju died in my hands. I'd like to see if anyone in the tigers dares to refuse me. With that, Han Fei snorted coldly, which scared the members of the tigers to shiver. Their leader was gone, and they all became weak chickens. But there were still people in the crowd who shouted angrily, how can you accept the industries of the tigers just because you want to? Han Fei said leisurely, I remember that when the tigers and the Wang family competed for the industries, they had some kind of unspeakable contact, didn't they? With that said, Han Fei pointed to the person who just spoke. I announce that the former members of the fish dragons, who have no criminal record, and have reached the strength of a level 8 fisher, can join the fish dragons. All the others will be expelled. The person who just spoke, no matter whether he has a criminal record or not, will be kicked out. In the crowd, someone suddenly shouted, I'll join. I haven't killed anyone, nor have I bullied the people. I joined the fish dragons just to live a good life. Immediately, someone chose to join. Many people were tempted because what Han Fei said was too good for them. The fish dragons had so many industries. If all the bad members were driven away and the remaining industries were given to them, it would be enough for them to live the rest of their lives in peace. I'll join. I'm just a non-staff member of the fish dragons, but I'm already a level 8 fisher. I'll join too. I want to join too, a former member of the fish dragons scolded angrily. Traitor, do you think you'll have a good life after Han Fei becomes the leader? Someone retorted. What do you mean by a traitor? Li Ju has done all kinds of bad things. I just don't have the ability. Otherwise, I would have killed him long ago. For a time, the fish dragons were divided into two factions, which Han Fei was happy to see. Han Fei said, all those who are willing to join, register in front of Li Qing. Li Qing, you must strictly register according to my standards and make no mistakes, understand? Li Qing opened his mouth, but in the end he still obeyed. Yes, young master. At this moment, only the members of the Tigers betrayed them. Han Fei continued to shout, everyone listen to me again. I will lead the members of the fish dragons to prosperity and the peak of their lives. Everyone, look at this little barbecue stall. It can be said that it's raking in gold every day. And now, I've decided to open large hot pot restaurants in the 4 major fairs of the Heavenly Water Village. When they open, they'll all be half price. What's a hot pot restaurant? No one knew. At this moment, they were all asking. Hot pot is an unparalleled delicacy in the world. It is no less delicious than barbecue, or even better. When they open, they'll all be half price, and the managers will be the members of the fish dragons. You can also apply for the positions of shop assistants. Everyone, think about it carefully. Opportunities don't come again. You've wasted half of your lives. Why don't you try to change the rest of your lives? They were all fishermen who only knew how to fish. How could they be as cunning as Han Fei? It was just that Han Fei's words were too tempting. If it was more delicious than barbecue, would it be more profitable than barbecue? Who wouldn't want to go fishing in the sea every day? Who would want to go fishing in the sea every day with their heads tied to their waistbands? For a time, the crowd was boiling. I want to join, leader. I'm a level 9 fisher, and I'm strong. Go away, leader, I want to join. I'm diligent and kind. Get out of the way, leader, I want to join. I'm quite talented in cooking. Han Fei waved his hand. Don't worry. Take your time. If you want to join the gang, you can register with Li Qing. Also, this is only the first time that the fish dragons are selecting members. In the future, when the fish dragons have more and more industries, we will only need more and more members. You can also recommend yourself, and then we will give priority to you to join the gang. Uncle Qing, I want to sign up. Brother Qing, we've known each other for a long time. Sign me up. Master Qing, the scene was crazy, completely crazy. Everyone abandoned the barbecue and flocked to Li Qing's side, directly congesting the street. Even the nearby hawkers came to sign up. What kind of business is this? Can a barbecue stall make money from my small business? If I can go to that hot pot restaurant, won't I make a fortune? Li Gang and Little Red hugged each other. Boss, my young master is going to be amazing. I'm going to die. Wang Jia finally came behind Li Gang and patted him on the shoulder. Pack a barbecue for me. Han Fei sat on the roof and looked at Wang Jia. Teacher, would you like to join the fish dragons? I'll give you the position of Grand Elder, and you'll get 10 mid-quality treasures every month. Wang Jia laughed. Haha, I'm very busy. When the village leader heard the news, he was not too surprised, but just a little surprised. Han Fei seemed to be a bit powerful. The village leader was in charge of major events in the Heavenly Water Village, but he couldn't make decisions at will. For example, the tigers had been domineering for many years. The people of the Heavenly Water Village dared not speak out, but under the jurisdiction of the floating island, they wouldn't do anything to you. As a result, many people were forced by the tigers' power and made compromises. Now the tigers were gone and the fish dragons appeared. Many people were looking forward to it. As long as it was not an oppressive gang, they could support it. In fact, Han Fei didn't return to the plantation that day, but led the 200 underlings to harvest the properties of the tigers, including Li Ju's house and his treasure house. The treasure house of the tigers. To be exact, it was the treasure house of the fish dragons. Han Fei looked at the collection in this house. There were a lot of knives, spears, swords, halberds, a box of mid-quality pearls, tentacles, shrimp whiskers, and a suit of armor made of fish bones. Han Fei didn't pay attention to some combat skills. In addition to these, there were also some ores. Han Fei didn't know where Li Ju found them. So poor. Everyone. After a while, Li Qing came over and cupped his fists. Leader. Call me young master. Li Qing paused for a moment. Yes, young master. Those who had criminal records and were unwilling to surrender have all been driven out of the gang. But there are 3 former fishing masters of the tigers who want to surrender to the fish dragons. How do you deal with them? Han Fei asked. Do they have criminal records? Did they kill innocent people? Only one of them didn't, but the other 2 did. Then tell those 2 to get out of here. Bring the last one to me. Yes, young master. At this moment, Li Qing felt very proud. Once upon a time, he had been worried that he would be targeted after betraying the tigers. Now that the tigers were gone, it fully showed how sharp and accurate his vision was. He had forgotten that he had been persuaded. After a while, Li Qing let a man in. This man was tall and seemed a little silly. Greetings, greetings, young master. Han Fei blinked. You, what's your name? The man froze for a moment. Why is this new leader insulting me? But under the eaves, he had no choice but to lower his head. I'm Li Gan. Thank you for your hard work. Li Gan. Han Fei continued. Do more and talk less in the future. Then you won't be tired. Li Gan. Han Fei asked, why have you never bullied the people or killed innocent people as a fishing master of the tigers? Li Gandan answered that they think that when I fight, I lose my prestige. Han Fei felt his blood freeze. If I were Li Ju, I wouldn't want you to go out and fight either. The fight had already ended, and you hadn't even finished speaking. Wasn't that infuriating? Han Fei continued, from now on, you will be the first general of the fish dragons, as long as you don't violate the principles of the fish dragons. Who dares to complain about your stuttering? Li Gan nodded. Yes, sir. Read 2. Chapter 93. The next day, Han Fei, the new leader of the gang, was followed by more than 100 subordinates in the name of inspection. At this moment, Han Fei was standing in front of a casino. Did I smash this place? Li Gang replied, yes, you just smashed it. It hasn't been repaired yet. Han Fei looked back and said solemnly, do you think this casino will affect the image of our heavenly water village? Everyone. A gang member immediately jumped out and said, young master, this casino is a profitable business. It makes a lot of money every day. As for damaging the image of our heavenly water village, what image does our heavenly water village have? Han Fei rolled his eyes and asked, will anyone go bankrupt because of gambling? The man smiled awkwardly. Well, sometimes. Then how did our gang deal with those who couldn't pay their debts before? The man clenched his fists. They didn't dare not pay their debts, so they could only get up early and go fishing every day to make money to pay off their debts. Smack! Han Fei slapped the guy on the head. Are you blind? Can't you see that I want to abolish this casino? Huh. Someone stood up and said, young master, if the casino is abolished, our fish dragons will have fewer ways to make money. Come on, iron-headed fish dragons. Come in with me. Han Fei sat down on the table and said, today, young master is going to create a new way of gambling in the heavenly water village. Baba. A new way of entertainment in the heavenly water village. Gang Z, go and get me 108 green turtle scales. Yes, young master. Soon the scales were brought over. Han Fei cut the scales with a knife for a while and then said, gang, Z Li Qing, Li Gan, come and sit with me. Huh. The 3 of them were taken aback. Why did he sit down? Come on, sit down. All members of the fish dragons, come in. Today, I'll tell you a game of chess and cards, which is as fun as gambling. Everyone came in with a daze, and many scratched their heads. This new leader didn't play by the rules. But what was the new way of entertainment? Look, There are 108 scales here, 54 of which are duplicates. Look, this is little white shrimp, representing 1. This was a prawn, which represented 2, and this was a mantis shrimp, which represented the king. This is a big meat turtle, representing the king. Half an hour later, many people were eager to give it a try. This was 2F asterisk king, easy and fun. 108 cards, for people drew a myriad of cards. At this moment, the 4 of them were fighting fiercely. Li Gang said, "Me against 7, 2 blade fish." Li Qing said, "Me against 8, 2 tentacle lobsters." Li Gan said, "Yes, yes, yes, 2 snake belts." "I have bombs and 4 yellow croakers." "I have bombs and 5 little white fish." Everyone said, "We can't afford it." 3 tentacle lobsters and 2 blade fish. "I win." "Pay up! Pay up!" Everyone's face turned green. They had lost miserably in this game of cards. Li Gang and the others secretly made up their minds to come back and practice their card skills when they were free. This game was simply too damn fun. Even though the crowd looked like a big yellow croaker, they all gave 5 sea coins when it was time to pay up. Everyone could afford to play this game. Han Fei took the money and suddenly stood up. "Okay, have you learned it?" More than 100 people all shouted, "Young master, we have." Someone said, "Young master, this is so fun, even more fun than the previous gambling houses." Someone said, "Young master, can I manage the gambling house in the future?" Smack. "You again? You only know how to play. What's your name? Is this a gambling house?" From today on, this place is called the Fish Dragon Card Room. The rule is that the amount of money in a single game cannot exceed 5 sea coins. However, if you want to play in the card room, you have to pay 1 low-quality pearl for 2 hours. The young man quickly smiled obsequiously. "Young master, my name is Chun Ariu. I know the rules. No one dares to break the rules of our fish dragons." "Well, good attitude. From now on, you will be in charge of the Fish Dragon Card Room. Those who have no money but want to play can go home and play by themselves, understand?" Chin Ariu nodded. "Got it. Those who have no money can go home and play yellow croakers." Smack! Han Fei was speechless. Why doesn't it sound good when it comes out of your mouth? Anyway, if there is a problem, I will come to you. The others were envious. This Chin Ariu brat was really lucky. He had taken such a fun fish dragon card room just like that. What a loss! Han Fei said, "Okay, now let me ask you a question. Did anyone see a business opportunity in my behavior just now?" Someone quickly raised his hand. I know. Han Fei said, "Go ahead." The man said with a smile, "Set up 100 fish dragon card rooms and collect money every day." Han Fei was speechless. F asterisk CK off, who else knows? Someone else raised his hand. Han Fei said, "Go ahead." The man hurriedly said, "Young master, at first we will charge a low fee. Let them play first. Later, when there are more people, we will raise the fee standard." Han Fei pointed to this man. "Who can kick him for me? I can't kick him." BM, someone stood up, kicked the man, and muttered, F asterisk, seek I know. Han Fei shouted, "If you're wrong this time, press him to the ground and slap him 10 times. The man's face turned green, and he said weakly, "Young master, let's get a lot of green armor scales, make them into cards, and then sell them to those who need them." Smack! Everyone shrank their heads. They thought they were beaten again, but it turned out that Han Fei really slapped his thigh. Han Fei asked, "What's your name?" The man shrank his head. "Young master, my name is Li Bai Shrimp." Han Fei nodded. "Good. You're so F asterisk king smart. From now on, the manufacturing of fish dragon cards will be yours. You can choose 10 people from the fish dragons to help you. If you don't have enough people, you can find them from outside. I will teach you a set of printing techniques. Learn them well." Li Bai Mei was stunned for a moment. Then he said with a smile, "Yes, young master. I will do my best to help you. Many people cast envious eyes at him again. Why didn't I think of that? Han Fei suddenly glanced at the crowd again. So, who saw a business opportunity in the manufacturing of Li Beisham's cards? Someone immediately shouted, "Young master, I know." Han Fei said, "Go ahead." The man said, "Recruit a large number of peripheral members of the fish dragons to be responsible for manufacturing. At the same time, send dozens of official members of the fish dragons to patrol the Heavenly Water Village. Whoever dares to manufacture cards secretly will have their legs broken." Han Fei's face darkened, and he immediately shouted, "Who will press him to the ground and slap him 10 times? The man was stunned. Am I wrong? This is very logical. After the man was slapped, a shifty-eyed guy said, "Young master, I know." Han Fei narrowed his eyes. "Think carefully. Otherwise, I'll have to slap the fishing rod." The man scratched his head. "We have to open a shop on each of the 12 streets in the 4 major markets. Then arrange someone to explain the rules to the passers-by. We have to tear down the name of the casino in front of everyone and hang up the name of Fish Dragon Card Room to arouse everyone's curiosity." Huh. Han Fei's eyes lit up. "Not bad. Compared with them, your IQ is 180. What's your name?" The man's eyes lit up. "I'm Li Duiyu." Han Fei nodded. "Okay, Li Duiyu, you can choose 12 people from the official members of the Fish Dragons to be the managers of the Fish Dragon card shop. You can find people below the manager rank from outside and pay them." Yes, yes, yes. I promise it will be foolproof." Many people had already begun to rub their heads. What a simple problem. Why didn't I think of it? Someone asked, "Young master, are there any business opportunities?" Han Fei replied, "Do you think there are business opportunities everywhere? Let's go to the next shop, the largest shop. I'm going to investigate the location of the hot pot restaurant." Immediately, hundreds of people set out again, all flushed and feeling that their lives had reached the peak. It was as if white mid-quality pearls had fallen into their pockets. As soon as they went out, Han Fei saw an acquaintance. Han Fei scratched his head. "Grandpa Leader, why are you here?" "Haha, I'm here to see if the newly appointed leader Han has bullied the people of my Heavenly Water Village. Read 2. Chapter 94. Of course, the village leader didn't come to see if Han Fei bullied the villagers. He had already learned about Han Fei's personality from Wang Jie and Old Jiang. He didn't think Han Fei would do anything outrageous. But this guy was too King arrogant. "You're only 12 years old. You're the village leader. How can you take more than 100 people with you?" The village leader called Han Fei aside. "Did you really kill Li Ju?" "I was lucky." The village leader was silent for a moment. "Come to my place when you have time. I think it's necessary to retest your spiritual heritage. There may be something wrong with the last test." Han Fei rolled his eyes. "Is it okay? My spiritual heritage can't be upgraded now, so it's not bad to retest it, right?" Han Fei pretended to be surprised. "Really? Great, Grandpa Leader. I also think there's something wrong with my spiritual heritage test. I was shocked by the level of Tang Ge's spiritual heritage last time. When I took the test, I injected spiritual energy into the stone and accidentally broke it." The village leader's face changed slightly. "Why didn't you tell me earlier?" Han Fei scratched his head. "I didn't know it at that time. I thought I just needed to put my hand on it. Let's go. Come with me to take the test now." "Wait a minute, Grandpa Leader. It's not that urgent. You see, I'm training my gang members now. The tigers have just collapsed, and the fish dragons have just risen. There are still a lot of things waiting for me to deal with." Humph. The village leader's face darkened. "What do you mean by a lot of things waiting for you to deal with? It's just a gang. Do you have to be the village leader? Then come to me quickly. I'll wait for you at home." Okay. After seeing off the village leader, Han Fei led more than 100 gang members to inspect the shops in the East Market. He chose the largest shop, which was nearly 500 square meters in total. Han Fei said, "Gang, let's rent this shop." "Huh. Young master, the rent of this shop is not low. It's this much a month." Han Fei looked at Li Gang's raised finger and wondered. 100 mid-quality pearls. Li Gang. 10. Han Fei was speechless. "Are you kidding me? I thought it would be 100. I'll rent it." Li Gang agreed, his scalp tingling. "Young master, you probably don't know how hard it is to earn money." But on second thought, he remembered that he only made 10 mid-quality pearls a day when he opened the barbecue stall. It didn't seem too much. "Bring me some paper." After a while, Han Fei quickly drew a floor plan on the paper and handed it to Li Gang. "I'll give you 3 days to tidy up this shop. By the way, let Li Qing handle your barbecue stand." Li Gang's face suddenly changed. "Young master, don't. Could it be that little Gang did something wrong? Young master, this barbecue stall is my life." "Pa," Han Fei slapped him. "Your life is at stake. Do you know that hot pot restaurants make 10 times more money than barbecue stalls?" "Ah, that's impossible, right?" Li Gang rubbed his hands. 10 times more. How much money would he earn? Isn't this a little too exaggerated? Suddenly, someone shouted, "If you don't want to do it, I'll do it. Young master, I'll do it." Li Gang quickly turned around and shouted with a black face, "Go away! I'm a founding member of the Fish Dragons. Who are you?" Han Fei ignored him and said lightly, "Li Gan, in the future, you should visit the chess and card rooms and hot pot restaurants more often to see if anyone makes trouble. You and Gang Z will each take 5% of the profits." Li Gan nodded. "Okay, Li Gan. I promise I'll. Han Fei covered his head. "Forget it, don't say it. I know you can complete the task. In the evening, in the plantation." Han Fei came with barbecue and wine, only to see old Jiang wandering around the vinegar jar. Han Fei said, "Grandpa, I'm back." Old Jiang didn't even look back, but just grunted and said, "This vinegar smells more and more delicious now. Make me a whole, drunken shrimp tonight. I'll take a sip." "Okay, where is Sister Qin?" Old Jiang replied, "Not yet." Han Fei rolled his eyes. "Grandpa, I'll prepare a few hard dishes for you tonight, okay?" Old Jiang turned his head. "Hard dishes? How hard? I don't have good teeth. Make them soft." Han Fei. In the evening, as soon as Jiang Qin came back from work, she smelled a strange fragrance, which immediately whetted her appetite. She knew that Han Fei was back. When Jiang Qin came in, she found that there were already 5 dishes on the table, and there seemed to be another dish in the pot. And old Jiang was picking up a drunken shrimp from the plate and putting it into his mouth from time to time, like a thief. Jiang Qin didn't know whether to laugh or cry. "Grandpa, have you washed your hands?" Old Jiang replied, "My hands are clean." "Look!" Old Jiang grabbed a mass of water from the void and threw it into the pot, which made Han Fei envious. "This trick is so awesome. I must persuade this old man to teach me." Old Jiang asked, "Boy Han, is your dish ready?" "Hard dish?" Old Jiang looked suspicious. "I don't know. He said it was very hard." Han Fei nodded. "Here it is." Han Fei brought over a brazier and then put the pot on the brazier. "Who wants to open it?" Old Jiang directly uncovered the pot. Who else could open it? When the pot lid was opened, old Jiang was stunned. This is amazing. Is the smell so tempting? It's not the same as barbecue, but it's not worse than barbecue at all. Jiang Qin also swallowed. "Is this a fish?" Han Fei smiled. "To be precise, it's a yellow croaker hot pot." "Hot pot?" Old Jiang pointed to the brazier and said, "Just put a pot on the brazier?" Han Fei nodded. Yes, it's a pot with fire." Old Jiang said, "This dish is not hard. Introduce it to me." "Ahem, then listen to me. In this hot pot, I added 7 kinds of spiritual fruit seasonings and 12 kinds of spiritual fruit ingredients. It will take about half an hour to cook. Han Fei introduced the other dishes. These are all side dishes. Sour and spicy shredded potatoes. This is a yellow ball. Potato sounds nice. Listen to me first. Old Jiang was embarrassed. This is a dragon cucumber. This is a long green melon. Han Fei was speechless. I know. Cucumber sounds nice. Don't interrupt me, okay? Jiang Qin rubbed her head. What a pair of clowns. Hey, can't they just eat? You've eaten the drunken shrimp. This plate is colorful pepper sweet and sour peanuts, which go well with wine. This plate is even more amazing. Golden silk shrimp balls. Peel off the fresh shrimp, remove the tendons, take out the meat, wrap it with a layer of bean paste, and then boil it in a pan of oil. It's golden on the outside, crispy in the mouth, overflowing with shrimp juice and fragrant. Okay, you can eat. Old Jiang and Jiang Qin almost drooled after hearing Han Fei's introduction. Why are there so many adjectives? They couldn't stand it. The 3 of them immediately picked up the yellow croaker in the hot pot. After eating it, Old Jiang and Jiang Qin's eyes lit up. Old Jiang continued, It has the fragrance of long spring mushrooms and the smoothness of sweet grass. It also has the sweetness of 7-leaf flower. TSK, tisk! Jiang Qin picked up the golden silk shrimp ball with her chopsticks. As soon as it entered her mouth, the crispness and the feeling of bursting in her mouth made her feel like flying. This night, Old Jiang drank half a jar of wine, and almost all the dishes were eaten up by him. After eating and drinking to his heart's content, Han Fei approached Old Jiang and said, Grandpa. Old Jiang asked, Huh? What's the matter? Han Fei asked, After all, you have been in the Heavenly Water Village for so long. Have you ever thought of making a little contribution to the people? Old Jiang replied, What contribution? It's not like I don't have hands and feet. I can go fishing by myself. Han Fei continued, Not this kind of contribution. Fishing can only help people survive, but food can give people more pursuits, more enjoyment, more leisure, and more fun. Do you think those ordinary fishermen go out early and come back late every day and fish day after day? Everyone will be tired. Old Jiang nodded. It seems to make sense. What does it have to do with me? Han Fei smiled slyly. Grandpa, many spiritual fruits in our plantation can't be eaten at all, so they fall into the soil and rot. It's a bit wasteful. I think it's better to contribute them to the people than to waste them, so that people will know that you are also contributing to the people, right? Jiang Qin couldn't bear to listen to him anymore. God knew where Han Fei got his ability to fool people came from. Anyway, she already knew the result. It seemed that the owner of the plantation had changed hands. Jiang Qin shook her head from time to time. Let this guy come in. Look, it's only been a few days. Is this your garden or his? Read 2. Chapter 95. The fish dragons replaced the tigers in one day, which was really fast. The next day, in front of the former 13 casinos of the tigers, the fish dragons tore down the signboard of the casino on the street. A gang member shouted, Dear friends, please wait a moment. When a group of people gathered at the door of the shop, Chin'eryu held a piece of paper in his hand and read, The fish dragons have just been established, and I deeply feel that the tigers have done harm to people. Now, the fish dragons will ban the gambling house business and resolutely resist gambling, which is harmful to people. Wow, someone exclaimed, Really? How can you stop doing such a profitable business? Someone said doubtfully, Have you come up with a more profitable way? Chin'eryu said, Don't worry, let me finish. The current leader of the fish dragons, Han Fei, is young and talented. How can he be the kind of evil person who cheats and harms people? Now, although the casino has been banned, our leader thought that we must have some entertainment in our lives, so he worked hard and spent 1 year creating the fish dragon card game for everyone's entertainment. Card game? What's that? Does this thing cost money? Can we gamble? Chen Ergo cleared his throat and said, the fish dragon card game is a kind of game with good quality and low price. It's a must-have game for families, friends, or friends at home. It's dozens of times more playable than the casino. Besides, our leader said that the card game itself is not gambling, and you can find more fun in the card game than gambling. Someone shouted, what does the card game look like? We don't know what it is. Someone echoed, yes. We don't know if it's really so fun. You have to tell us how to play it. Yes, if you don't tell us, we're leaving. In the end, it's all about money, isn't it? Chen Ergo said, brother, do you need money to buy yellow croaker? Who can tell me how much a yellow croaker costs? Someone immediately replied, yellow croaker can't be worth much. A low-quality pearl can buy 2 or 3. Chen Ergo smiled and said, okay. This brother said that a low-quality pearl can buy 2 or 3 yellow croakers. Now, let me tell you, the same low-quality pearl can buy 2 sets of fish dragon cards, and you won't have to spend money anymore. Are you surprised? Are you surprised? Really? How is that possible? How can there be such a cheap game? Are you bragging? Then what do you rely on to make money? Chen Ergo pretended to be profound and said, everyone, don't worry about how we earn money. Anyway, we don't earn your hard-earned money. Come, come, come. There are some tables here. Everyone can sit down first. I'll teach you how to play the fish dragon cards. Half an hour later, a strange scene appeared in the Heavenly Water Village. 13 groups of people gathered in the east, west, south, and north. These people formed groups of 4 and sat facing each other, their mouths muttering. 3 plus 2, 3 big yellow croakers, and 2 small white fish. Bomb for small white fish. Arrogant my A** guess, bigger than you. For big yellow croakers. Ha! Bomb for tentacle lobsters. Everyone said we can't afford it. Such voices rose and fell, ceaselessly. Beside him, there was a huge queue of people. Hey, I want 10 sets of fish dragon cards. I came first. I want 4 sets of fish dragon cards. I want 6 sets. The members of the fish dragons were so busy. They thought that 200 people would be enough to deal with this scene. But who would have thought that it would be so popular? Suddenly, a gang member shouted, be quiet, because the number of fish dragon cards is limited. Each person is limited to 2 sets. If you want to buy, hurry up. We don't have much stock left. At this time, everyone understood why the gang leader said that this thing couldn't be drawn by hand but had to be printed. He even made a printing template. In less than an hour, the stock was sold out. 10 minutes later, dozens of fish dragon card rooms shouted one after another. Everyone, our stock has been sold out. Please come back tomorrow. Some people didn't buy it and muttered, what's the big deal? Anyway, it's made of green turtle scales. I'll go home and make it myself. But unexpectedly, the members of the fish dragon said, if you didn't buy it, you can actually go home and make it yourself. It doesn't matter. The fish dragons will not force you to buy our fish dragon cards. We will serve the people wholeheartedly in accordance with the principle of fairness and justice. But someone immediately sneered, only a fool would make it himself. This thing looks simple, but who can draw the little white fish and blade fish so vividly? I'll come back to line up tomorrow. Yes, I can't draw it myself. Many people who are going to make it themselves immediately gave up this idea. And the person who first said this muttered in his heart, it's so easy to be a pawn. On that day, according to incomplete statistics, a total of 2,102 copies of fish dragon cards were sold. Many people just bought it when they saw everyone rushing to buy it and didn't know what it was. When they bought it and learned the rules of the game, they were surprised to find that they had lined up correctly. The first official meeting of the fish dragons. Li Gang wondered. Although we sold so many, we didn't make as much money as barbecue. It's a lot, but it's cheap. Chen Ergo added, Brother Gang, although the fish dragon cards didn't make much money, do you know how much our card room made today? How much? Chin Urgu gestured with his hands. 8,000 low-quality pearls. Li Gang's eyes widened, including the money from the cards. He made 100 mid-quality pearls in a day. Li Qing added, the barbecue stall made 36 mid-quality pearls today. Li Gang was immediately tempted. Young Master said that the hot pot restaurant was more profitable than these two, but he didn't know if it was true. But since the fish dragon cards were so profitable, how could the hot pot restaurant be bad? Heavenly Water Village, the Wong family. The Wong family's patriarch looked at the pile of green turtle scales in his hand and said, "Is this the fish dragon cards?" The second young master of the Wong family said, "Patriarch, yes. This fish dragon cards is so fun." "Pa, you only know how to play. Look at your third brother. He is already in the town. In the future, he will definitely be the #1 armorist of the Wong family. And look at you. What else do you know besides playing?" "But it's really fun, Patriarch." After a while, the Wong family's patriarch played a few rounds of fish dragon cards and couldn't help but say in high spirits, "It's a bit interesting. How did Han Fei come up with such a game?" The second young master said, "Patriarch, let's do it too. I heard that the fish dragons don't object to us doing it ourselves at all and said that they won't take this business for themselves." "Pa!" the Wong family's patriarch said angrily, "You idiot! Do you know that the fish dragons did it on purpose?" "Huh. Why did they do it on purpose?" The Wong family's patriarch narrowed his eyes and said, "Don't forget what the name of this card is, fish dragon cards. In these 2 days, it will definitely become a familiar name in the Heavenly Water Village. Let's do it again. What name should we use? If we don't use the name fish dragon cards, it won't be popular. If we use the name fish dragon cards, people will think that the Wong family has also joined the fish dragons." The second young master said angrily, "What a vicious kid! Patriarch, let's find a chance to kill him. This kid is even more difficult to deal with than Li Ju. F***CK off. Do you think you can deal with him? Our Wong family is so big. How can we bully a kid? What will the villagers of the Heavenly Water Village think of our Wong family?" The Wong family's patriarch murmured, "Han Fei, you're a big shot. But what are you doing in a small place like the Heavenly Water Village? In the Heavenly Water Village, even if you surpass the Wong family, so what? This is a world where strength matters." In just 2 or 3 days, the fish dragons had become a hot topic among the villagers of the Heavenly Water Village. After dinner, someone sighed. "Have you heard? The fish dragons have sponsored more than 500 children to go to school. They are really good people." Someone nodded. "Yes, the fish dragons don't bully people at all. They pay for everything they buy." Someone wondered, "Isn't it normal to pay for things?" That person sneered. "The tigers have never paid before." Someone agreed. "It's much better than the tigers. I heard that the fish dragons are building a hot pot restaurant recently. It's said that it's even better than barbecue. Shall we go and have a try?" "Sure, count me in." "Let's go together," read 2. Chapter 96. The village leader's house was close to the center of the Heavenly Water Village, which was the closest place to the sea god statue, so it was convenient for everyone to come to him. Han Fei came with the wine, only to see the gloomy face of the village leader. "Grandpa Leader, I'm here. What's the matter?" The village leader put away his sad face and said with a smile, "Han Fei, you're here. Why did you bring something? Come in." The village leader's house was very simple, even a bit like Han Fei's own cabin. It was said that the village leader's family had an accident in the fishery before, so this old man had been living alone. Han Fei poured the wine on the ground and said, "Grandpa Leader, you seem to have encountered some trouble." The village leader was stunned. "You saw it." Han Fei replied, "It's written all over your face. How can I not see it? Do you need help from the fish dragons? Now our members are all first-class good people." The village leader chuckled. Good people? Now the fish dragons have almost become a chamber of commerce, stirring up trouble every day. Han Fei, I thought you could go to the town so that you could not only avoid the tigers but also some other things. But I never expected that Li Ju would die in your hands, which was beyond my expectation. Thanks to the life-saving means Tang Ge left me. Haha. The village chief smiled without saying a word. How could such a young child lie without his face turning red and his heart not jumping? Let's not talk about other things. Let's test the level of your spiritual heritage first. If what you said is true, the last test must have been wrong. Okay. After a while, the village leader took out a stone and said solemnly to Han Fei, "Put your hand on it and inject spiritual energy into it." Han Fei did so. In fact, he had another purpose when he promised the village leader to test his spiritual heritage. He was also very suspicious of the flash of black light he saw last time. As spiritual energy was injected into it, a rich yellow light burst out in an instant. The village leader took a breath. I was wrong last time. This is a level 3 mid-quality spiritual heritage, and it's almost a level 3 high-quality spiritual heritage. Ignoring the village leader's excitement, Han Fei stared at the rock. At the last moment, the black light flashed again, as if it was never there in the first place. Sure enough, there must be black in the spiritual pulse test. I just don't know what level black is at. The village leader said excitedly, Han Fei, do you know that you have a level 3 mid-quality spiritual heritage? Are you excited? Haha, our heavenly water village can still produce talents. You may become a great fishing master and even a dangling fisher. Seeing that Han Fei didn't respond, the village leader was stunned. Aren't you excited? Han Fei scratched his head. In fact, when I became a fishing master, I already had a hunch that the level of my spiritual heritage should be higher than when I took the test last time. It's not surprising. But Han Fei quickly said, Leader, can you keep this a secret for me? The village chief was stunned. Keep it a secret? Why are you keeping it a secret? Hey, I'm a low-profile person, and it won't be good for so many people to know about it. As the saying goes, a tall tree attracts the wind. It's good for others to think that my spiritual meridian is only high-grade LV1. The village leader, a tall tree attracts the wind? Although a level 3 mid-quality spiritual heritage is not bad, it's not very good. You must have never been to the town. The village leader replied, You're wrong. For example, last time you could go to the town because of my recommendation, but now you can go to the town without my recommendation. But although you have a level 3 mid-quality spiritual heritage, you still look too ordinary in the town. Most of the heavenly talents in the town have level 4 spiritual heritage, and the highest one is level 4 high quality or even level 5. Han Fei shook his head. But I haven't gone to the town yet. The village leader said solemnly, You have to go there sooner or later. Han Fei quickly changed the topic. Leader, I know that those with a level 4 spiritual heritage emit yellow light, and those with a level 4 to level 6 spiritual heritage emit blue light. Those with a spiritual heritage above level 7 are purple. Is there a spiritual heritage of a higher level than purple? What is the color of that spiritual heritage? The village leader asked, Why do you ask this? I'm curious. I'm wondering if the people in the city have a more exaggerated spiritual heritage than purple. The village leader shook his head. It's said that there are, but I haven't seen it. However, a monster of that level is hard to come by in 100 years. Don't think too much about it. Han Fei frowned slightly. Really? Is black really more powerful than purple? Before Han Fei thought too much, the village leader said, Han Fei, are you really not going to go to the town? If you want to go now, I can still find a way. Han Fei shook his head. No, I'm not ready yet. Han Fei was really not ready yet. The village was the closest to the sea, and every time he went to sea, there would always be some unexpected gains. He didn't want to leave here so soon. Humph! It was an insult to him that he had to be an auditor for 3 years before he could go to the town. He felt that it was time for him to go to the town when he was invincible in the town. The village leader pondered for a while. "Since you don't want to go, I won't embarrass you. But since you don't want to go to the town as a fishing master, you can't do nothing in the Heavenly Water Village every day. Han Fei." The village leader asked, "Han Fei, do you know why there are so few fishing masters in our village? Why are there so few fishing masters in the streets, and even in the port?" Han Fei paused. "Isn't it because there are few fishing masters?" "Few? Ha! Every year, nearly 500 students graduate from the 4 schools, and all of them can become fishing masters. In fact, the number of fishing masters in our village increases by about 100 every day. But where have these people gone? Have you ever thought about it?" Han Fei was surprised. "So many?" "The level 1 fishery?" The village leader nodded. "Do you know what a level 1 fishery is?" Han Fei scratched his head. "It's a place suitable for fishing masters. The demonic fish, there are too much for fishermen to deal with, and great fishing masters don't want to go there. So fishing masters go there." The village leader shook his head. "Wrong. Before explaining this matter, let's divide it into level 1, 2, and 3 fisheries." Han Fei was immediately interested. He knew nothing about level 1, 2, or 3 fisheries. There might be opportunities in ordinary fisheries, but there wouldn't be as many as in higher-level fisheries. The Heavenly Water Village belongs to the Blue Sea Town. It is said that in ancient times a blue sea wandering dragon died in the Blue Sea Village, so it got its name. The Blue Sea Town has 8 floating islands the size of the Heavenly Water Village, named after water, wood, rain, wind, moon, sun, fire, and heart. Among them, the Heavenly Heart Village is the closest to the Blue Sea Town and is the strongest, followed by the Moon and Sun Towns and the Wind and Fire Villages. The Water, Wood, and Rain Villages are the weakest, and the 8 villages share a level 1 fishery with a radius of 3,000 kilometers. Han Fei was surprised. "The ordinary fishery in our village is 1,000 kilometers wide, and it's exclusive to our village. Why is the level 1 fishery shared by the 8 villages only 3,000 kilometers wide?" The village leader sighed. "Do you know which fishery has the most in the hundreds of thousands of kilometers around us?" Han Fei shook his head. The village leader explained, "The ordinary fishery has the most, but not all the sea is dangerous. It is said that a peerless figure found an ordinary fishery suitable for survival, and then captured it to the floating island by some amazing means. That's how the Heavenly Water Village, the Blue Sea Town, and even the 1,000-star city came into being." Han Fei secretly took a breath, feeling a little incredulous. What the hell? Someone had captured a floating island and placed it here. How King awesome did this have to be able to do such a thing? The village leader continued, "In fact, the real range of the ordinary fishery is not 1,000 kilometers. This is just an estimate. In fact, some people have tested it long ago. It is about 800 kilometers. Demonic fish that may appear in the level 1 fishery have already appeared 800 kilometers away, but they are extremely rare, and the ordinary fishery and the level 1 fishery are not directly connected. There will be an intermediate area of 1,000 kilometers between the ordinary fishery and the level 1 fishery, called the mixed area, in which there are fish from both the ordinary fishery and the level 1 fishery, which is equivalent to a buffer zone." Han Fei asked, "Then, if the fishing masters of our Heavenly Water Village want to go to the level 1 fishery, won't they have to fly thousands or even 2,000 kilometers?" The village leader nodded. "Yes, the 8 villages surround the level 1 fishery in the middle. Some people speculate that this is actually a trial place for the people who created the floating island." Read 2. Chapter 97. Han Fei wondered if the level 1 fishery was surrounded by the 8 villages. Where was the level 2 fishery? As if knowing Han Fei's thoughts, the village leader said, "The level 2 fishery is farther away, 2,000 kilometers away from the 8 villages." Han Fei was surprised. So, in fact, we are not surrounded by the level 1 fishery, but by the level 1 fishery and the level 2 fishery. The village leader nodded with a smile. Yes. Then, the level 3 fishery. The village leader glanced at Han Fei. Do you know why the fisheries outside the level 3 fishery are called the unknown places? Han Fei shook his head. The village leader explained, the level 3 fishery is beyond the scope of the village's exploration. A great fishing master in the level 3 fishery is equivalent to an ordinary fisherman in the mixed area between the ordinary fishery and the level 1 fishery, and the probability of his death is very high. So the level 3 fishery does not exist around the village at all. It is located in a remote area and can only be reached through the teleportation array in the town. Han Fei could understand and continued to ask, "What about the unknown places?" When you are strong enough, you will naturally know about the unknown places. Even I don't know about them. Okay, now that you understand the division of level 1, 2, and 3 fisheries, let's return to the level 1 fishery. With that, the village leader took a deep look at Han Fei. Do you know the meaning of the fishing trial? The parents of those children clearly know that they may die. But why do they still force their children to participate? Why do some parents cry secretly when their children die, but don't regret this decision? Han Fei asked, "Is it for the level 1 fishery?" The village leader nodded. The level 1 fishery is far more terrible than the fishing trial. When you get there, you may meet people you don't know, and you don't know who will suddenly appear to kill you. So the most terrible thing in the level 1 fishery is not the fish, but the people. Han Fei took a deep breath. It could be imagined that there must be a lot of killings and robberies in the 8 villages sharing a fishery. At this time, Han Fei roughly learned about the fishing trial. Many people began to form alliances and then had internal strife. If it was not an alliance of the same village, the probability of internal strife was extremely high. Even if it was a village, if they obtained a certain treasure, there would be internal strife. Han Fei suddenly remembered something and said to the village leader, "The power of demonic fish. Tanga told me before that you can absorb the power of demonic fish in the level 1 fishery." The village leader gave Han Fei an appreciative look. Yes, it's the power of the demonic fish. It's said that people can absorb the power of demonic fish when they were fishermen, and many people have absorbed it. Isn't the power of demonic fish directly absorbed from the demonic fish in the level 1 fishery? Haha, you're oversimplifying things. The village chief thought to himself, "I just want to see your inexperienced look." The village leader continued, "You should have seen the so-called power of the demonic fish. At least many members of the fish dragons have it. Li Ju also has it, but we call it contractual spiritual beast." Ah! Han Fei looked at the village leader in astonishment. How could it be? If it's a contractual spiritual beast, why have I only seen Li Ju and Li Gang? The others don't seem to have it. They only seem to have obtained power. The village leader's face became slightly solemn. So, this is why all the villages have to enter the level 1 fishery. The failure rate for ordinary fishermen or fishing masters to sign a contract with an ordinary demonic fish in the level 1 fishery was too high, mainly because the level of the ordinary demonic fish was too low. This kind of ordinary demonic fish had no intelligence. So those who failed could only get the power of some demonic fish but couldn't sign a contract. But the tiger-head fish you've seen, except for spiritual beasts, are spiritual beasts, right? Its quality is considered a rare species, and it is fundamentally different from ordinary fish. So, there are a lot of rare demonic fish in the level 1 fishery. The village leader shook his head again. Not a lot, but a small number of rare demonic fish or rare demonic fish mutated from ordinary demonic fish. Think about it. The level 1 fishery is only so big, but there are so many people who come to fish for demonic fish, so it's not uncommon for them to compete with each other. What's more, once they find that people other than their own village get rare demonic fish, it's easy to attract several other villages to besiege them. Why? The village leader smiled bitterly. Why? To restrict the development of other villages. Do you know that once a genius rises in a village, the benefits to that village are beyond your imagination? What benefits? Tango counts, right? The village leader nodded. Yes. Do you know that Tango was taken away by an angel, caused a sensation in the town and other villages? I guess so. A level 7 spiritual heritage. I don't think it has even appeared in the town, right? The village leader sighed. Yes, it's a blessing and a curse. Originally, when Tango was taken away by an angel, our heavenly water village could have been moved to the position of the heavenly heart village and replaced it. Han Fei was stunned. Wait a minute, Grandpa Leader. Can our floating island move? The village leader smiled. You won't understand. This is an array left by an ancient strong to intensify the competition between villages, so as to cultivate strong people. Forget it. I don't need to talk so much with you. I'm old and talkative. I tell you this because every fishing master in the village has a task. Han Fei frowned. What task? The village leader said seriously, compete. Every fishing master has to compete for rare, demonic fish. You should know that all the schools in our village distribute free spirit swallowed fish soup. This is also a competition for the next generation. So in fact, every village has an unwritten rule. Go to the level 1 fishery and catch as many spirit swallowed fish as possible. Theoretically, everyone's task is to catch 500 caddies of spirit swallowed fish a month. Han Fei blinked. Then you've been a fishing master for 3 days, right? You still have 27 days to catch 500 caddies of spirit swallowed fish. Of course, if you can find a contractual spiritual beast, you don't have to pay any more. By the way, absorbing the power of demonic fish doesn't count. The power of demonic fish is not comparable to that of contractual spiritual fish. Han Fei almost fainted. Damn it. I thought my good days had come. I was busy dealing with the fish dragons, but now I'm going to the level 1 fishery to grab resources. If they send 2 peak-level fishing masters, I'll be dead. The village leader smiled. Han Fei, you're still young. Don't envy those fishing masters who can stay in the village. They have all paid a heavy price. Even Li Ju has killed more than 10 fishing masters from other villages and interrupted the signing of contractual spiritual beasts of other villages twice. Han Fei felt that there were 10,000 ironhead fish galloping in his heart. I'm still a child. With that, the village leader handed over a book. Take it. This is the incantation to sign a contractual spiritual beast. Go back and cultivate quickly. Don't waste more unnecessary things on the fish dragons. Han Fei rolled his eyes. I haven't even warmed up my position as the leader of this gang yet. I have to go back and cultivate before I can establish my image as an arrogant playboy. Back to the plantation. Sister Chin had just come back. Sister Chin, don't you go to work today? I'm taking a break. Oh. Sister Chin, may I ask if you have a contractual spiritual beast? Jiang Qin said lightly, why? Are you going to the level 1 fishery? Han Fei scratched his head. The village leader came to me today and asked me to catch 500 caddies of spirit swallowed fish every month. He also asked me to compete with him. I'm too young to compete with him. I'd better catch spirit swallowed fish. Haha. Jiang Qin sneered. You can't compete with him? Li Ju has been killed by you. Why are you still pretending to be weak? Jiang Qin rolled her eyes, and with a flash of spiritual energy in her hand, a big blue lobster appeared in front of her. Attach. Han Fei's face changed in an instant because Jiang Qin had already thrown a punch at him. Sister Qin, clang. Han Fei raised his rod to block it and was sent flying. Han Fei crawled out of the vegetable garden and said bitterly, "Sister Qin, why did you hit me?" "Let me show you the power of a contractual spiritual beast. I just used the power of a beginner fishing master. How do you feel?" Han Fei's face changed. A beginner fishing master? Isn't that the same as me? But how can her attack power be so strong? Han Fei immediately said, "No, Sister Qin, I fought with Li Ju. Even if he was possessed by the tiger-head fish, he didn't surpass the limit of a great fishing master, let alone have the strength of a great fishing master. But according to your strength after possessing the body just now, you seem to have advanced by 2 realms." Jiang Qin nodded. "To be precise, after being possessed by Little Blue, my strength has risen from a beginner fishing master to the peak of an intermediate fishing master, but there is still a long way to go before I reach the late stage." "Why is Li Ju so weak after being possessed by the tiger-head fish?" "That's because he got a mother-son tiger-head fish. He gave the Z fish to his son, Li Hu. After the Z fish died, the strength of the mother fish was greatly reduced." "You're lucky." Han Fei broke out in a cold sweat. "So if I hadn't killed Li Hu, I might not have been able to beat Li Ju? Damn it, this world is too dangerous." Read 2. Chapter 98. That night, Han Fei called Li Gang and the others over. "I'm going to cultivate in seclusion this month. I'll give you the method of making hot pot. If you've tried it, you can deal with it yourself. I'm going to prepare for the level 1 fishery." Hearing the level 1 fishery, Li Gang and the others' faces changed drastically. "Li Gang, so fast!" Li Gan hesitated. Young master, don't trust anyone." Han Fei wondered how Li Gan survived. But since Li Gan could stay in the Heavenly Water Village, he must have done a lot of things in the level 1 fishery. It seemed that he was not stupid. The next day, Han Fei asked for leave from old Jiang and went to the martial arts hall of the fish dragons to cultivate in seclusion. He was even mocked by old Jiang, saying that he was just a kid and that he was going to cultivate in seclusion. But old Jiang didn't know how many secrets Han Fei had. If he knew, he wouldn't have said that. After Han Fei came back, he began to cultivate the indestructible body art for the first time. After all, the cultivation of the incomplete monograph on 108 ways of body polishing was a long-term thing, and the effect was definitely not as fast as the indestructible body art. In front of Han Fei, there were 20 bottles of iron fish body polishing fluid and more than 100 mantis shrimp beads. At this moment, Han Fei seemed to have been steamed. He gritted his teeth, and the sweat on his forehead flowed down like water. Shit, this indestructible body art is 2F** King Domineering. I need to burn my skin with spiritual energy from the inside. Only after 1 layer is burned can I burn the next layer, repeating 5 times in total. Han Fei was actually shocked. Human skin was indeed divided into 5 layers, namely the stratum corneum, the transparent layer, the granular layer, the spine cell layer, and the basal layer. What the indestructible body art needed was to cultivate these 5 layers of skin to the point that they were almost invulnerable. So this kind of burning behavior had to be carried out countless times. Fortunately, Han Fei discovered the advantage of the mantis shrimp beads. The so-called increase in strength would actually automatically improve the skin. 1 day, 2 days, 5 days, 10 days. Han Fei didn't know how many times he had repeatedly hammered his skin. When he cut his skin with the blade fish dagger and didn't break his skin, he knew that he seemed to have made some progress. At this point, there was no longer a need to continue burning. Instead, there was a need to temper it with spiritual energy. Of course, Ren Tianfei didn't have any spiritual energy at that time. The method he used was a boxing technique, but his boxing technique was not recorded. He also expected that those who obtained his indestructible body would not have no spiritual energy like him. So there were 2 ways to practice this step. Ren Tianfei's method was more difficult, and Han Fei's method required a lot of spiritual energy. However, Ren Tianfin probably didn't expect that Han Fei's spiritual energy storage was unlimited. When Han Fei spent a total of 10,000 points of spiritual energy on skin toughening, the indestructible body reached the initial success level, and it only took Han Fei half an hour to complete this step. If it were someone else, it would take them at least 2 months to accumulate and cultivate 10,000 points of aura, provided that they used all the aura to temper their skin. But accumulating spiritual energy also needed time. Therefore, according to Han Fei's estimation, it would take others at least 3 months to cultivate, but he only needed half an hour. Haha, it's really F***ing difficult. This is just skin toughening. How painful is it to temper my body? Thinking of the feeling when his skin was burning, Han Fei suddenly felt uncomfortable. Han Fei cut himself with an ordinary blade fish dagger, only to hear a clang, and the blade fish dagger broke. Damn, so awesome! Han Fei was a little dumbfounded himself. Isn't this indestructible body a bit too abnormal? The dagger of the blade fish, which could cut anything in the ordinary fishery, was broken when it was slashed by him? Except for a little pain, there seemed to be nothing wrong. There was only a shallow white mark, which disappeared after he rubbed it. Han Fei took out the mortal-level dagger refined by the demon purification pot and gently cut himself first. After he cut, his skin was intact. Han Fei muttered, "Is it because I didn't use enough strength?" He used 50% of his strength. This time, Han Fei saw an obvious white mark on his skin, but still no blood came out. Well, 70% of my strength. Thud! Looking at the blood mark on his arm, Han Fei knew that skin toughening was not omnipotent. After all, the gourd was still a high-quality product. However, Han Fei immediately realized that he could resist 70% of the attack of an expert of the same level without being hurt, provided that the opponent had a mortal-level high-quality weapon. If it was only a blade fish dagger, his arm might have been broken. Ha ha ha! Freak! This is only the initial success of skin toughening. What if I reach the phenomenal success level of skin toughening? The point is that the indestructible body can be cultivated all the time. I can continue to temper when I become a great fishing master, and when I become a dangling fisher. Han Fei finally realized why the indestructible body was so powerful. Even the deduction required 100 million points of spiritual energy. It couldn't be that simple. In 10 days, Han Fei used 7 bottles of iron fish body polishing fluid, 49 mantis shrimp pearls, and more than 16,000 points of spiritual energy. This consumption was huge. If converted into mid-quality pearls, it would be equivalent to hundreds of them. Forget it. It's impossible to reach the phenomenal success level in such a short period of time. I'd better practice the incomplete monograph on 108 ways of body polishing to improve the strength of my whole body. After another 7 days, Han Fei found that his upper limit of spiritual energy had been stuck at 599 points. He checked the data. Owner, Han Fei, level greater than 13, junior fishing master, spiritual energy greater than 140,006, 599, spiritual heritage, level 3, medium quality, upgradable, spiritual beast, twin yin-yang spirit, swallowing fish, weapon, purple bamboo rod, main art, void fishing, chapter 1. Hook kiss, mortal level, divine quality. The upgradable status of his spiritual heritage was still gray, unchanged. But the upper limit of spiritual energy seemed to have decreased. Han Fei felt that when he was a fisher, the upper limit of spiritual energy increased very fast. Now it was getting less and less, and on average, it only increased by 12 points for each minor level. No, there must be a way to continue to increase the upper limit. Since my spiritual heritage and level have been upgraded, there's no reason why the upper limit of spiritual energy can't be increased. Han Fei didn't dwell on this for a long time. After all, in terms of the upper limit of spiritual energy, even peak-level fishing masters might not be as high as him. Han Fei calculated the time. It had already taken him 17 days to practice the indestructible body and the incomplete monograph on 108 ways of body polishing. Plus the 3 days he had used before, didn't he have less than 10 days left? At this time, Han Fei took out the method of signing a contractual spiritual beast given by the village leader. Do I have to memorize these words? Yes. The method of signing a contractual spiritual beast was not difficult. It was just a paragraph, to be exact, a formula. Fuse your essence blood, swear with spiritual energy, and brand your divine sea with the sea god's eye. Han Fei frowned. What kind of contract is this? It's a bit strange. Why does it have to be branded in my divine sea? But thinking that the sea god was just a symbol, it didn't seem to be a problem. So Han Fei immediately began to practice. He felt that this should be very fast, and it would only take him an hour to finish it. Just as Han Fei was practicing the spiritual energy oath, the blood in his body suddenly surged. He couldn't draw out his essence blood, and the oath couldn't be branded into his divine sea at all. After trying 5 or 6 times in a row, Han Fei was at a loss. Is this thing difficult to cultivate? If it's so difficult to cultivate, why do I have to go to the level 1 fishery as soon as I become a fishing master? Subconsciously, Han Fei wanted to see if the demon purification pot could solve this problem. But when he looked at it, the word demon purification appeared next to the words demon purification and refining. Demon purification? Han Fei clicked it open curiously, only to find that it required 50,000 points of spiritual energy to activate it. Oh, robbery? No, wait. Is this related to the failure of signing a contractual spiritual beast given by the village leader? Otherwise, why did the word demon purification appear here? This makes me suspicious. Activate. Whether Han Fei wanted to or not, he had to spend the 50,000 points of spiritual energy, even if he didn't want to now. Since he still had some spiritual energy left, it wouldn't be a problem to activate it. Half an hour later, Han Fei was dumbfounded. The so-called demon purification turned out to fuse demons with other demons and transform them into brand new lives? Shit, what kind of divine skill is this? Han Fei gasped. In this way, wouldn't he be able to fuse demonic fishes indefinitely until he fused a rare, or even more advanced, demonic fish? And this didn't require any *T contract. Han Fei muttered, demon purification pot, demon purification pot. Could this divine skill be the core function of the demon purification pot? Read 2. Chapter 99. Han Fei walked out of the training hall of the fish dragons. The 2 men who had been guarding outside the door exclaimed, "Young master, have you finished your seclusion?" "Yes, I'm invincible now." The 2 men, one of them said, "Young master, the village leader sent people to come twice during the 10 days of seclusion. He said he would come again today. What do you think? Why are you here? Afraid that I would run away?" One of the men said, "No, the village leader asked you to find him as soon as possible." Han Fei nodded. "Okay, I'll go now. Hey, has the fish dragons opened a hot pot restaurant?" When it came to the hot pot restaurant, the 2 men immediately showed a look of fascination and said excitedly, "Young master, it's opened. You don't know how many people went there that day. From noon till late at night, our fish dragon's hot pot restaurant never stopped. All the seats were full, and everyone who had eaten it was full of praise. They even wanted to lick the hot pot soup clean." The other man hurriedly said, "Young master, the turnover of that day has reached this number." As the man spoke, he opened his palm and revealed 5 fingers, 500 mid-quality pearls. The man was shocked. "Young master, you're amazing. Even 500 mid-quality pearls are enough to make our gang go crazy." Smack! Han Fei slapped the man on the head. "Be polite next time. Why did you ask me to guess? What if I guessed 5,000? The man was aggrieved. How could it be 5,000? How much would 5,000 mid-quality pearls be? Han Fei walked out of the fish dragons happily. Seeing the sun outside, he felt refreshed. He was wondering if he should invite the old man and Sister Chin to the hot pot restaurant for hot pot tonight, but he gave up the idea. Neither of them was the kind of person who would join in the fun. They would definitely let him cook at home. The village leader's house. Han Fei greeted. "Grandpa Leader, I'm here." The village leader was reading a piece of paper. Hearing Han Fei come in, he immediately said, "You're finally out of seclusion." "I've mastered the divine art. I'm ready." The village leader nodded. "Yes, I don't know if you've come at the right time. 3 fishing masters will set off with you in an hour." "Huh? Why the rush?" The village chief replied, "I didn't plan to wait for you, but who knew that you would come out on your own? But that's fine too. Since you were able to kill Li Ju, you must have some hidden skills. This time, 3 fishing masters from our Heavenly Water Village died in the level 1 fishery. Now we're preparing to reinforce them." "Huh." Han Fei was a little shocked. Were the 3 fishing masters killed so easily? The village head looked terrible. "We're under siege. Do you want to go to the plantation and tell old Jiang?" Han Fei pondered for a moment and realized that it was unnecessary to say anything. He had expected old Jiang's reaction. Old Jiang didn't even bat an eyelid. His answer was enough to express his attitude. "Forget it. No need. But, Grandpa Leader, shouldn't you return my fishing boat to me?" The village leader replied, "I was going to use your fishing boat." In fact, the village leader didn't really wait for 2 hours. When Han Fei arrived, the village leader called the 3 of them over, and they set off directly. Half an hour later, the 4 of them were already in the sky. Han Fei's white fishing boat was very fast, more than 3 times faster than ordinary fishing boats. And Han Fei knew that Jin Jin's white fishing boat was more than 10 times faster than the fishing boats of the Heavenly Water Village. At this moment, the one steering the fishing boat was a middle-aged man, and the other 2 people on the boat, a man and a woman, were both young people, both under 25 years old. At this moment, except for the middle-aged man, the other 2 were looking at Han Fei. The woman's eyes lit up. "Wow, are you Han Fei? A 12-year-old fishing master? You're so cute." Han Fei. The girl rubbed Han Fei's head. Han Fei's face suddenly darkened. "Girl, please behave yourself." "Ha! Don't tell me big sister will eat you? This is the first time I've seen a 12-year-old fishing master. You're amazing." The young man was also looking at Han Fei up and down. Seeing Han Fei's helpless expression, he wanted to laugh, but when he thought of the task of this trip, he couldn't laugh anymore. Of course, no one took Han Fei as a weakling. Could a weakling kill Li Ju? Could a weakling kill the tigers in public? How could a weakling kill a fishing master of the fish dragons under the watchful eyes of so many people? The girl rubbed Han Fei's head again and said, "My name is Chen Jia, and this brother is Zhang Peng, and that Uncle Chow is awesome." The middle-aged man looked back and smiled. "Chow Fei, little Han Fei, this is the first time you've come to the level 1 fishery. You must follow us closely. This is a place 10 times more tragic than your fishing trial." Han Fei said, "Uncle, don't worry. I've made great progress recently. I'll beat whoever you want me to beat to death with 3 sticks." Chow Fei chuckled. "Just take it as Chow Fei. You make it sound like you're catching a big yellow fish. Beat a fishing master to death with 3 sticks? Boy, you're still young. Can you change your bad habit of bragging?" Zhang Peng shook his head slightly. He was full of confidence. This kid still hadn't experienced the tragedy of the level 1 fishery. The journey of more than 1,000 kilometers was supposed to take 6 hours, but with Han Fei's fishing boat, it only took them less than 2 hours. When they fell into the level 1 fishery, Chen Jia, and the other 2 were speechless. This was a fishing boat given by an angel. How amazing! Chow Fei said solemnly, "Get ready to fight." Zhang Peng, release the spirit-chasing lobster. Seeing Han Fei was stunned, Qinjia smiled at him. The spirit-chasing lobster is Zhang Peng's contractual spiritual beast. It can identify the other party's location according to the other party's spiritual energy. It's rare. Han Fei asked to contract. Han Fei was a little stunned. Oh my God, fortunately it's rare. If everyone has one, I'll be chased everywhere if I offend someone in the future. Qiao Fei said, tell Han Fei about our combat characteristics and spiritual beasts. Qinjia's expression became serious. Han Fei, listen up. I'm a junior peak-level fishing master, and my spiritual beast is a crayfish, which has strong combat power and defense. After fusion, my combat power barely reaches the intermediate peak level. With that, Qinjia pointed to Zhang Peng and said, Zhang Peng is also a junior peak-level fishing master, and his spiritual beast is a lightning crab. It's extremely fast in combat and has strong attack power. It's also the only spiritual beast with its own combat skills in the level 1 fishery. It can turn spiritual energy into crab pincers and strike at lightning speed, directly crushing the opponent to death. But it consumes a lot of spiritual energy. Zhang Peng is a little stronger than me after fusion with his spiritual beast, but not by much. Han Fei was very surprised. Spiritual beasts have their own skills? They can even turn spiritual energy into big pincers? Are these people's spiritual beasts so excellent? In the end, Qinjia said, Our captain, Qiao Fei, is an advanced fishing master, only one step away from the peak. His spiritual beast is a swordfish with strong attack power. If you think you're no match for him, you can run to the captain. If the captain has a master of the same level, then don't go. Then the three of them all looked at Han Fei. Han Fei blinked. Han Fei. I'm a junior peak-level fishing master, and my spiritual beast is a spirit-swallowing fish. My combat power will not increase after fusion. Huh. Boy, you're junior peak level? Qiao Fei looked back at Han Fei and was very surprised. Han Fei replied, Yes, I'm at the peak. Considering my strength, my combat skills, my reaction speed, my comprehensive combat ability is about the level of an intermediate peak-level fishing master. Everyone. Qinjia asked, Intermediate peak level? Zhang Peng was stunned. Han Fei, are you sure? Qiao Fei said seriously, Han Fei, it's a matter of life and death. Don't joke about it. Han Fei replied, I'm not joking. My strength is very strong. If an intermediate peak-level fishing master stands still and punches me, I can make him vomit 3 liters of blood. Everyone. They were all speechless. Why do you have to add a quantifier to your words? But they also breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, Han Fei was not a burden. Although they were shocked by Han Fei's strength, they were not in the mood to talk about it at this moment. About half an hour later, Han Fei saw 5 fishing boats chasing in the distance. Qiao Fei shouted, Enter the battle state and sprint at full speed. At this moment, Han Fei said weakly, Uncle Qiao, can you tell who the enemy is? Just drive my boat and hit them. They won't be damaged. Read 2. Chapter 100. When Qiao Fei heard that there was such a thing, he immediately drove the boat over. Reinforcements. Someone on those boats shouted, his voice full of excitement. Qiao Fei shouted from a distance, Little bastards of the Heavenly Sun Village, your Grandpa Qiao is here. Not good, retreat. The 5 fishing boats on the opposite side quickly separated. Han Fei saw clearly this time that the 2 fishing boats of the Heavenly Water Village were already in a mess. Only 3 people still had the strength to fight and were guarding the bow of the boat. The other 3 had fallen on the boat the moment Han Fei and the others arrived. And on the other 3 fishing boats of the Heavenly Sun Village, there were 6 people who still had the strength to fight. But at this moment, the 6 people were a little dumbfounded. Where did this white fishing boat come from? Why did it dare to crash into them? Chow Fei shouted, "Kill!" Bam! With a bang, the keel of a fishing boat of the Heavenly Sun Village was directly broken, and another fishing boat was sinking. At this moment, the people on the boat had been transferred to the other 2 fishing boats. Everyone was dumbfounded, including the people of the Heavenly Water Village. How could this white fishing boat be so fierce? How could it be so unscathed? At this moment, on the 2 fishing boats of the Heavenly Water Village, several people shouted, "Go back!" In the Heavenly Sun Village, a young man sneered, "Even if you have a few people to support you, so what? Do you think we don't have reinforcements? People of the Heavenly Water Village, the only people who can really fight now are these 4. Oh, there's even a kid. Have you been weaned?" Chow Fei ignored this person's words and quickly said, "One for each of us. Zhao Dabai, you hold 2 people back. Let's solve them today." Zhao Dabai was the one who asked for help. His face was pale, but he still gritted his teeth and said, "Okay." Han Fei frowned. It seemed that they couldn't make it. Zhao Dabai and the man and woman beside him seemed to be seriously injured, and their hands holding the sticks were shaking. But Chow Fei ignored this and rushed over. Qinjiar shouted, "Fuse!" Zhang Peng shouted, "Fuse!" Chow Fei shouted, "Fuse!" The 3 of them surged and rushed into the fishing boat of the Heavenly Sun Village in an instant. Bam, 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 an intense battle unfolded in an instant. As soon as they clashed, someone was immediately injured. Han Fei saw that Zhang Peng, who had been relatively calm a moment ago, was actually trading blow for blow. The lightning crab's talon attack turned into a giant pincer that instantly clamped down on one of the enemies, while he himself ignored the fact that his body was pierced by a swordfish phantom and charged forward. Han Fei was shocked. Was this the battle in the level 1 fishery, risking his life right from the start? At this time, Chow Fei shouted, "Han Fei, hurry up!" Hearing this, Han Fei moved his feet, and the purple bamboo rod in his hand rolled with spiritual energy and smashed at one of them. "Ha ha ha! Is there no one else in the Heavenly Water Village? They even sent a little kid?" Bind. The next moment, Han Fei narrowed his eyes. He seemed to see a giant squid with dozens of flickering tentacles trying to entangle him, and the combat rod in the man's hand also flashed with spiritual energy and collided with Han Fei's. Bang! But this person didn't expect that Han Fei's strength was too strong. He had been fighting for a long time just now. Although he had taken the spirit refilling pill, he had consumed a lot of physical strength. But now he was smashed away by a child with a stick? The young man shouted, "Be careful, this kid is evil. Someone come and help me." Hearing this, the people of the Heavenly Water Village all looked at Han Fei in astonishment. Was this kid stronger than they thought? In particular, the eyes of Zhao Dabai and the other 2 lit up. Zhao Dabai sneered, "Little brat from the Heavenly Sun Village, do you think I don't exist? Yeah, fight." Although Han Fei sent this person flying with a rod, he abandoned the rod in the next second. 2 knives suddenly appeared in his hands. The 2 knives were covered with spiritual energy, and he slashed at the void more than a dozen times. The young man seemed to have received a great deal of damage and hurriedly struggled to get up. But unexpectedly, Han Fei was already in front of him, and the advantages and disadvantages of the rod and the knife were immediately revealed. The long rod in the young man's hand had been rendered useless, and the 2 knives in Han Fei's hands were flying like butterflies. Bang, bang, bang. In the blink of an eye, there were more than a dozen slashes, and the spiritual energy protective cover on the young man's body was broken. Han Fei felt that a suction cup was trying to suck him. He only had a few seconds, which was enough. Chilla, chilla. In just a few seconds, the young man looked at the boy in front of him in horror. In a head-on battle, he found that he had no power to fight back at all. Although he had the strength, he was completely suppressed. Dozens of wounds were left on his body by the 2 knives, and his whole body was almost covered in blood. "No!" the young man shouted in despair. "How dare you? Zhao Dabai get lost. BM, Zhao Dabai, and the other two were blasted away by a strong shock ripple. Han Fei looked sideways, only to see a sturdy young man coming at him angrily. Han Fei calmly kicked the fishing master of the Heavenly Sun Village into the sea, but his hands and feet didn't stop, and he directly rushed at the sturdy young man. Ding Yang, you killed Ding Yang. You damn thief from the Heavenly Water Village. Everyone was surprised. They never expected that the first one to kill Ding Yang turned out to be a little boy. But Zhao Dabai and the others blushed. This kid is amazing. How old is he? When did such a monster appear in our village? Clang, 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 clang. Han Fei slashed at the man with the two knives. The man seemed to want to use spiritual energy explosion, but Han Fei was not afraid at all and still slashed at him. With a bang, Han Fei took 5 or 6 steps back, turned the two knives in his hands, and held them firmly in his hands. On the other hand, the man opposite him had 2 long wounds on his chest, bleeding a lot. Just when Han Fei was about to attack, he saw a figure flying towards him. Isn't this Qin Jiao? Qin Jiao was injured. She vomited blood and said, His spiritual beast is the armored turtle. Zhao Dabai, can you still fight him? Zhao Dabai smiled bitterly. His spiritual energy had been depleted. Well, I want to say, as Han Fei spoke, Qin Jiao had already rushed up again because the man who was intercepted by Zhao Dabai and the others had escaped and went to Zhang Peng. Zhang Peng was already stained with blood, and one more person might not be enough. Han Fei took a breath, and spiritual energy surged out of his hands, and 2 pillars of spiritual energy directly sank into Zhao Dabai's body. Shit! Zhao Dabai and the other woman were dumbfounded. This young man turned out to be a spirit gatherer? Not only Zhao Dabai and the others were dumbfounded, but the people of the Heavenly Sun Village were also dumbfounded. Such a young spirit gatherer? Didn't such a talent go to the town? No, it's a spirit gatherer. Kill this young man. The Heavenly Water Village has 1 Tengu. We can't have another one. However, Zhao Dabai roared, Who dares to kill the people of the Heavenly Water Village? Do you think I don't exist? Zhao Dabai and the injured woman joined the battle, and the situation immediately turned over. As for the remaining person, it was not that Han Fei didn't want to give him spiritual energy, but he didn't have a chance because the sturdy young man on the opposite side rushed at him like crazy. This young man's spiritual beast was a crab, which had strong defense and attack power. After fusing with his spiritual beast, his combat power was about the same as an intermediate peak-level fishing master. At this moment, he seemed to be stimulated, and his momentum was getting stronger. Zhao Dabai's face changed slightly, and he said to Han Fei, Boy, be careful. It's the power of the demonic fish of the ball fish. Han Fei frowned. Could fishing masters repeatedly obtain power from the demonic fish? First, he fused with his spiritual beast, and now he had the power of the demonic fish. If this guy had a contractual spiritual beast, could he attach it to him? Explode! The young man roared, and hundreds of needles seemed to burst out in all directions on his body. Han Fei was right in front of him, so of course he had to bear more damage. The sturdy young man sneered. I absorbed the poisonous stings of the ball fish. Is it a surprise? Is it a surprise? Boy from the Heavenly Water Village, go to hell! On the other side, Chao Fei roared furiously and tried to rush over. However, he was forcefully knocked back by a long staff. The people of the Heavenly Water Village all felt their hearts sink at this moment. They knew how terrifying the ball fish was, but this was a 12-year-old spirit gatherer and the hope of the Heavenly Water Village. Was he going to die on his first mission? But in the next second, everyone was stunned. The sturdy young man's eyes widened. Clanging sounds rang out on Han Fei's body for a long time, but the countless ballfish bones formed by his spiritual energy didn't leave any damage on Han Fei's body. Han Fei scratched his head. Have you finished your attack? Then it's my turn, okay? Read 2. Chapter 101. Han Fei even scratched his body. Although these spiritual energy thorns couldn't hurt him, he felt a lot of pain. So, in the shocked eyes of Zhao Dabai and the others, Han Fei's aura suddenly rose. At this moment, everyone felt that this child was very dangerous, the kind that could kill them in seconds. In fact, the sturdy young man's seemingly strong defense was easily torn apart by Han Fei, and the two daggers flashed back and forth on his body. After a while, the man became a bloody man and fell straight back into the sea with a splash. Qinjar said, Han Fei, good job, but can you come and help me? Han Fei nodded. Sure. Han Fei, who had just used fury, was still very combat ready. He rushed up and slashed at the opponent. With Han Fei's help, a phantom appeared in front of Qinjar, and blew up the opponent's spiritual energy protective cover with one blow. After half an hour, everyone was panting. Qinjar leaned against the railing, not wanting to move at all. Her hair had been soaked with sweat, and there were 2 puncture wounds on her body. Zhang Peng was even more miserable than Qinjar. He was lying on the ground and couldn't move. He was the first to be injured, but fortunately his lightning crab was so powerful that the opponent was almost killed by him alone. As for Chao Fei, he was evenly matched with the leading fishing master of the Heavenly Sun Village. In the end, everyone worked together to kill him. At this moment, everyone laughed. Zhao Dabai lay on the boat and said with a smile, Old Chao, this is a great victory. Everyone looked at Han Fei. They thought Han Fei was just here to make up the numbers. Who could have expected that this child was so strong? He killed 2 fishing masters alone and didn't even have a scratch on his body. Chao Fei said, Boy Han, thank you. Qinjar said, Lovely brother, you're so powerful. When I return to the village, I will take you to eat delicious food. Han Fei rolled his eyes. I cook all the delicious food in our village. When I return to the village, I can treat you to hot pot. Hot pot. The group of people froze for a long time. They had never heard of it. Zhang Peng asked, Can we not talk about food first? Han Fei, give me some spiritual energy. I'm empty. Han Fei didn't mind pouring spiritual energy into Zhang Peng's body. He intended to show his strength as a spirit gatherer. Firstly, he could gain the recognition of these people. Secondly, his occupation would eventually be exposed. Rather than waiting for the future, he might as well do it now. Didn't old Jiang say that spirit gatherers were the team's pet and the object of everyone's protection? Zhang Peng said with difficulty, Awesome. The feeling of not having to cultivate by myself is just too great. Zhao Dabai asked, Han Fei, can I have some too? The woman next to Zhao Dabai teased, Old Zhao, you're too much. We're all exhausted now, and the others are seriously injured and lying there. Then the woman smiled at Han Fei. Brother Han Fei, my name is Chenling. If you come to the level 1 fishery in the future, remember to find me. Han Fei said happily, Then let's form a group in the future. I'm afraid that I'll be beaten to death in the sea if I come alone. Everyone laughed, and then Zhao Dabai said, We have to go quickly. The reinforcements from the Heavenly Sun Village may come at any time. Our current fighting condition is very poor. If another 7 or 8 people come, I'm afraid we'll be left here. Chao Fei, that's right. Let's return to the village first. You're going back? I haven't caught 500 caddies of spirit swallowing fish yet. Zhao Dabai laughed. Boy Han, you killed 2 fishing masters, let alone 500 caddies of spirit swallowing fish soup. Even 5,000 caddies of spirit swallowing fish soup won't be a lot. They joked and controlled the fishing boat to rise into the air and go back. Han Fei felt like he had come here for a vacation. It had been less than half an hour, and he had to fly back. Only half an hour after they left, 5 fishing boats appeared here. Damn it, damn the Heavenly Water Village. How could they kill 10 fishing masters? The village leader will go crazy. Look, this fishing boat was hit directly and is about to sink. The other party seems to have reinforcements. Humph. Search the entire level 1 fishery for the fishing boats of the Heavenly Water Village. I'm going to kill them. In the sky, Zhao Dabai asked, "Do you think the people of the Heavenly Sun Village will go crazy? They lost 10 fishing masters this time, right?" Chun Jia added, "The Heavenly Sun Village has always been domineering. I'm afraid they won't accept this loss. Let's be careful next time we come here." Zhang Peng suggested, "Can we cooperate with the Heavenly Wood Village and the Heavenly Rain Village next time? I heard that they are also being suppressed by the Heavenly Sun Village." Zhao Dabai hurriedly said, "No. When we fought with the Heavenly Sun Village just now, the Heavenly Rain Village and the Heavenly Wood Village were stopped by the people of the Heavenly Moon Village, but they didn't fight with each other. I suspect that they have reached an agreement with each other." Everyone was talking, and Han Fei sighed with emotion as he listened on the side. This was simply an infinite infernal affairs. Who else could they trust if they joined forces and attacked at any time and any place? After everyone calmed down, Han Fei said, "Everyone, can you help me keep a secret? Don't reveal my identity as a spirit gatherer. If other villages know it, I'm afraid I'll never have a peaceful day in the future." Chao Fei nodded. "Of course, but you have to tell the village leader. After all, you're probably the first spirit gatherer in our village, and it's the first time we've seen the ability of a spirit gatherer." Zhang Peng was excited. "Yes, a spirit gatherer is too terrifying. If it's a battle in the level 1 fishery, with the stable spiritual energy support of such a person, we can almost be invincible." Everyone looked at Han Fei, deeply shocked. Is this the power of a spirit gatherer? They had heard how terrifying the spirit gatherer in the town was. Now they finally understood that this was a secret weapon, even more powerful than the armorist of the Wang family. Armorists could fight, but spirit gatherers could provide a steady stream of spiritual energy. Heavenly Water Village. The village leaders' eyes almost popped out. How long had they been gone? Less than 5 hours. If it were before, they wouldn't even reach the level 1 fishery in 5 hours. Zhao Dabai said, "Village leader, although the entire Heavenly Sun Village was annihilated this time, we also suffered a lot. Li Yu Yangdong and Su Qing died. Zhou Zhou was seriously injured, and his contractual spiritual beast died. I'm afraid we won't be able to go to the level 1 fishery in the future." The village leader heaved a long sigh. "Forget it. Let's rest for a few more days. The other people in the village have been told to come back quickly. I'm afraid the Heavenly Sun Village will go crazy this time. Our people have to come back to recuperate." Then the village leader looked at Han Fei. He knew that Han Fei had mastered the spirit gathering technique last time, but hearing it from Zhao Dabai and the others, he was even more amazed. A 12-year-old spirit gatherer was amazing. Even most of the professionals in the town were about 15 years old. And Han Fei had just finished the fishing trial. Was it because old Jiang taught him well? The village leader finally knew why Han Fei stayed in the Heavenly Water Village. He didn't expect that Han Fei really had such a talent as a spirit gatherer. In the evening, Han Fei said that he would hold a feast for Zhao Dabai and the others, so they came to the Fish Dragon Hot Pot Restaurant. At the entrance of the Hot Pot Restaurant, Qin Jia asked, "Brother, is this the Hot Pot Restaurant of your fish dragons? Why are there so many people?" Han Fei looked at the crowd in the line and said with a headache, "It's mainly because it's too delicious. As the gang leader, no one is here to welcome me." As soon as he said so, Li Gang trotted over with a smile. "Young master, didn't you go to the level 1 fishery? Why are you back so soon?" "I came back as soon as I finished my business, right? Are there any seats upstairs?" Yes. The fish dragons have our own shop, so we'll definitely reserve an exclusive private room for you, young master." "Huh, you're sensible." As soon as they entered the shop, Zhao Dabai, Qin Jia, and the others were stunned. Isn't it too popular? In such a small place, it was packed with people. 7 or 8 people sat at each table. All kinds of bragging and laughter could be heard. Qinling, wow. It smells so good. I'm hungry just by smelling it. After a while, a group of people sat in the private room, and Li Gang served them in person. They were all fishing masters. Without Han Fei's order, a whole yellow croaker hot pot was served. At the same time, a barbecue was placed in front of everyone. Chanjia took a bite of garlic prawns and immediately beamed with joy. Brother Han Fei, even fishing masters can't afford your barbecue. How much does it cost? Han Fei waved his hand. Don't talk about money. How much can it cost? It's only 40 or 50 mid-quality pearls. Suddenly it was quiet. Xiao Fei glanced at the dense crowd outside and the people in line. Haha, there are so many rich people in our heavenly water village. Read 2. Chapter 102. Rather than saying that Han Fei was holding a welcome dinner for them, it was more accurate to say that they had accepted Han Fei as a talented new member. There were 10 fishing masters present, including Han Fei, which meant that Han Fei had officially entered another circle. Chen Jiar asked, Brother Han Fei, have you become a spirit gatherer in less than 3 months? It's a pity that you don't go to the town with such talent. Chen Ling also said, Brother Han Fei, can you be a special spirit gatherer in our group from now on? Wow! It's hard to imagine how much our combat effectiveness will be improved with a spirit gatherer in our group. Xiao Fei also said, Han Fei, with your talent as a spirit gatherer, you will definitely have a place in the town now. Are you sure you don't want to go? Only Zhao Debai snorted. It's not necessarily good in the town. They still have to go to the level 1 fishery to gain experience. Han Fei can also gain experience with us. He's no worse than them. Han Fei was surprised. Do the people in the town also go fishing in the level 1 fishery? Zhao Debai nodded. Yes, where else can they go? But we can't offend the people from the town. They are always led by a great fishing master. The only advantage is that they generally don't take the initiative to rob the villagers of prey. Of course, we can't rob them either. Oh, it seems that I made the right choice not to go to the town. The students in the town are too well protected. They're not free and can't fight. Xiao Fei shook his head. If it's fair, the great fishing master will allow them to fight, but you can't kill them. In fact, you can't kill them. Han Fei pondered. It's boring. I have to be watched when I go fishing. Even if I have any ideas, I can't carry them out. While eating, Chunling suddenly asked, Han Fei, have you learned the 2nd level of the true spirit fishing art? I really can't figure out how you can grow so fast. Even if you have reached the 3rd level of the true spirit fishing art, there's no reason for you to cultivate so fast, right? Everyone looked at Han Fei. They didn't ask him when they were in the level 1 fishery, but now they all wanted to know. This boy was really amazing. He easily killed 2 fishing masters alone, and one of them used the ball fish skill, but didn't hurt Han Fei at all, which made them jealous. Han Fei suddenly realized, why did I forget to upgrade my cultivation art? He hadn't reached the 2nd level of void fishing yet. He was still using the 1st level of void fishing. However, under everyone's gaze, Han Fei scratched his head and said, I haven't had time to learn it yet, but the speed of cultivation varies from person to person. There was a problem with the spirit vein test last time, so Grandpa Village Chief retested me. It's 3rd level middle grade. Everyone understood. This made sense. With a level 3 middle grade spiritual pulse, he could definitely develop in the town. Coupled with the resources left by Tango, it was understandable that he could reach the peak level of a junior fishing master in a short time. However, most people were still speechless. Even so, wasn't it too fast? Han Fei quickly changed the topic. Well, when will we go to sea again? Xiao Fei added, try not to go to sea this month. The Heavenly Sun Village must be waiting for us. As for Han Fei, you can try fishing in the transition zone between the level 1 fishery and the level 2 fishery. With your current strength, there shouldn't be any problem in the transition zone. In the evening, after the concert, Han Fei immediately went to the village leader. He hadn't reached the second level of true spirit fishing art yet. He had to get the cultivation method first, before he could deduce it. The village leader's home. Han Fei greeted Grandpa Village Chief. The village leader was surprised. Han Fei, didn't you go to dinner with Chow Fei and the others? Why are you here? Han Fei replied, Grandpa Village Chief, well, I've become a fishing master, but I haven't reached the second level of true spirit fishing art yet. Do you have it? The village leader was surprised. Huh, didn't old Jiang give it to you? Han Fei frowned. No. The village leader's face changed slightly. Didn't this kid practice the second level? That's amazing. How could he cultivate so fast without the second level? He shouldn't have a level 3, mid-quality spiritual heritage. Only those with a level 4 spiritual heritage could have such a cultivation speed. The village leader shouted, Just wait. Han Fei got the second level of the true spirit fishing art. He skimmed through it and didn't memorize it at all. He didn't care about such a lousy art. When he returned home, Han Fei was dumbfounded. Existing art, true spirit fishing art, incomplete. Level 2 instant hook technique, incomplete. Remarks the first ancient general art has been incomplete after the passage of time. It will cost 100,000 points of spiritual energy to complete it. Deduced art, void fishing, level 2, hook god technique, degree of completion 0100000. Han Fei's face turned black. I only spent 1,000 points of spiritual energy to deduce the first level. Now I need 100,000 points of spiritual energy to deduce the second level? But I only have 90,006 points of spiritual energy in total. Han Fei almost cried. Rin Tianfei's treasures were unobtainable. In the blink of an eye, he had become a pauper again. Originally, Han Fei was quite happy, but then his face fell. I can't live like this anymore. Han Fei thought for a full hour. He had consumed too much spiritual energy, and he had only deduced the void fishing art for a while. Then would he need spiritual energy to become an intermediate fishing master in the future? Would he need spiritual energy to fight? Would Little Black and Little White need to be fed with spiritual energy? What if he learned some other arts? Han Fei chuckled. If he cultivated normally, how long would it take him? Should I go treasure hunting again? But Rin Tianfei's treasures are hidden in the level 3 fishery. Wait, there's still one more place I haven't been to. Han Fei quickly turned out Li Ju's fish skin map and looked at the marked points of the undersea grotto. Li Ju hadn't been to this place yet. Should I go there myself? Han Fei left without hesitation. It was unrealistic to go to the level 1 fishery. If he was found alone, he would be hunted down and beaten. As for the mixed area between the ordinary fishery and the level 1 fishery, Han Fei was going to try it. But then he thought that there was still a place in the ordinary fishery that hadn't been explored yet. It should be no problem for him to go there with his current strength, right? Han Fei was full of confidence. He felt that the most dangerous place in the ordinary fishery was the boat-burying pit. He didn't think the undersea grotto would be more dangerous than the boat-burying pit. Even if it was, he was no longer what he used to be. Now, he was a fishing master. At night, the white fishing boat set out. There was wind on the sea, and the wind was whistling. It was rare to encounter such weather in an ordinary fishery. In the surging waves, Han Fei jumped into the sea, and the white fishing boat was directly stored in Forge the Universe by him. Otherwise, no one knew where the fishing boat would be blown to after he came out. With a flash of light between Han Fei's eyebrows, Little Black and Little White were released. Han Fei said, "Little Black, come out to look for food." Little White, on the other hand, rubbed against Han Fei and spat out a mass of pure spiritual energy, which was swallowed by Han Fei in one gulp. No matter how rough the sea was, the bottom of the sea was still the same. At this time, Han Fei didn't need a spiritual energy protective cover at all. Ordinary fish, like the snake belts, couldn't catch up with him as long as he activated the wandering dragon art. Besides, with Little Black, the foodie, no fish could get close to Han Fei. Han Fei had been diving down about 100 meters, but he hadn't seen the bottom yet. This place is deeper than other places in the ordinary fishery. Han Fei dove another 100 meters or so before he saw the shadow of some stones below. He dove another 50 meters or so before he reached the bottom. Looking around, there were all rugged rocks, which seemed to be dozens of kilometers away. Han Fei felt the water pressure and found that it didn't cause any problem to him, so he unhurriedly shuttled through the stone forest. It's still a cave marked on the map, which means that there must be a hole here. Only by finding this hole can I find the location. In fact, this hole was not difficult to find. Han Fei found it after searching for a while. There was indeed a big hole, but when he saw this hole, Han Fei hesitated. Should he go in or not? At this moment, Han Fei probably knew why no one had explored this damn place. This hole looked too weird. It seemed to be artificially dug. The hole was round with a diameter of 50 meters. More importantly, the hole was vertical downward. Han Fei could see the rock wall of this hole, which was very smooth. It can't really be man-made, right? This hole seems a bit deep. Should I go in? Read 2. Chapter 103. Do you want to go down? Yes. Han Fei knew very well that in a mysterious place like the ocean, opportunities had to be found. Han Fei fell directly, and some small white shrimps and octopuses fled in panic around him. But the more he went down, the more Han Fei felt, a little excited, and a little nervous. About another 100 meters down, Han Fei saw a concave and convex hexagon picture. When Han Fei saw it clearly, he swam up dozens of meters and his face changed. He saw a starfish, F*CK, your starfish, and a 50-meter-long hexagonal starfish? Shit, what the hell is this? Han Fei immediately had a guess in his heart. Why didn't Li Ju touch this place? Weird, 2F*King weird. There were very few fish around, and the rock wall was not suitable for big green crabs to live in. But in the open space next to the starfish's tentacles, he saw some crab shells. Yes, the seabed grotto is such a special place. The Heaven Village has been here for hundreds of thousands of years. It's impossible that they haven't found this place. But why hasn't anyone come here? Who dares to come here? Such a big starfish. Who dares to come here? Although he was scared, the starfish didn't seem to move. Han Fei descended a little more, and a series of information appeared in his eyes. Name Hexagon Starfish Week. Level 36, quality, mysterious introduction, a mysterious creature. Hexagon starfish, extremely rare. It treasures as much as its life. Because it searches for treasures everywhere, it is called a moving treasure. Its 6 horns can emit strange beams of light, and 6 void gates will appear. You may get an opportunity, or die if you enter any of them. Be careful. Contains spiritual energy greater than 4,200 points. Edible effect. Inedible. Collectible. None. Absorbable. Han Fei gasped. A level 36 creature? Are you kidding me? This is an ordinary fishery, not a level 3 fishery, okay? Han Fei's face darkened. No wonder no one dares to explore this place. How can this thing be explored? It's completely beyond the scope of my ability. This was the second mysterious creature Han Fei had seen besides the twin yin-yang spirit swallowing fish. This kind of thing was basically a legend in the sea. Han Fei shook his head. Forget it. I'll come back to this weird place when I'm strong enough. I'll be dead if I go there now. Moving treasures? I have to be able to afford them. Just when Han Fei was about to leave, he saw Little Black jump out with a swish, heading straight for the hexagon starfish. Han Fei's face changed drastically. Little Black, come back. Han Fei was really worried about Little Black. Are you afraid of nothing and want to see everything? However, When Little Black was about 4 or 5 meters away from the hexagon starfish, the surrounding seawater suddenly trembled, and then Han Fei felt that he was about to pee his pants. Near the center of the hexagon starfish's back, 6 big eyes suddenly opened. Han Fei's blood froze. He was right. Those were the eyes, and they were staring at Little Black. Little Black seemed to be scared by this thing too, and stopped swimming. Its 2 small fish eyes stared at the 6 big eyes of the fish. Han Fei felt that there were tens of thousands of iron-head fish galloping in his heart. The 2 mysterious creatures only looked at each other for a while, and then the 6 eyes slowly moved and looked in Han Fei's direction. Han Fei panicked, but facing the hexagon starfish's gaze, Han Fei still raised his hand and waved at it, as if to say that he didn't have any idea at all. "Don't look at me, you're making me scared." However, the hexagon starfish obviously didn't understand Han Fei's meaning. Immediately, purple light burst out from its 6 antennae at the same time and went straight to the top of the grotto. "Little Black, run." Han Fei swam up desperately. As long as he ran away, Little Black could be taken back. At this moment, Han Fei was so focused that he might not even believe it himself. He had mastered the wandering dragon art and swished so fast that he didn't look like a human at all. Bam! He was about to reach the top and Han Fei was about to go out. But in the next second, he hit an invisible wall of nothingness. "It's over. It's over. It's over." "Human? Who's talking?" Han Fei looked around in panic and then looked down, but he couldn't see the hexagon starfish anymore. "Human, come down." This voice appeared directly in Han Fei's mind, and Han Fei immediately responded, "I'm not going down." "If you want to go out, there's only one way." "What's the way?" Han Fei was horrified. No one told me that sea monsters could talk. He could even hear the responses in other people's minds. "Do you want to get the treasure?" "I don't want to." "Hexagon starfish." Hexagon starfish asked, "Don't you humans all like opportunities? I can give you opportunities. Don't bully me because I'm not well educated. Your 6 Paths sect is doomed. I'm just a fishing master. What level are you?" "Huh. How do you know?" "It seems that you are the one I'm waiting for." "What do you mean?" "Don't fool me." "I'm not." Hexagon starfish asked, "Why are you so afraid of death?" "Haha. Those who are not afraid of death are already dead. As long as you are a creature below level 20, I'm not afraid of you. I can fight you with a stick. But Brother Starfish, look at your level. Is it fun to bully a little fishing master like me? Don't worry. Your spiritual beast is my kind. I will really give you an opportunity." "I don't believe it." "Then are you going to suffocate to death at the bottom of the sea? I remember you humans need to breathe, right?" Han Fei thought to himself, "How does it know this? That's ridiculous. Why is it so familiar with humans?" "Master Hexagon Starfish, can you let me go?" "Then come down. I've given you the opportunity. It's up to you how to choose." Han Fei's face changed several times, as if he had returned to the first question. "Yes." Han Fei came down again with a sad face. He had to come down. Just as the hexagon starfish said, if he didn't come down, he would suffocate to death. Although he could hold it for a long time, he would still die in the end. The purple light was still there, as if forming a large net, completely covering the cave. "I have been here for 300 years. As long as it is possible, I will not give my treasures to you." Han Fei didn't believe it. "Can't you get out?" Hexagon starfish scoffed. "Do I look like I can get out of here?" "Then why are you here?" The hexagon starfish was silent for a while. 300 years ago, when I was still young, I was caught and brought here. That person set up a restriction array here, and I couldn't escape. He said that he might come back later, or it might not be himself, but his apprentices who came back, and he said that he could release me. Until today, many people have come here, and I think they are all his apprentices. Unfortunately, these people either ran away or were trapped by me and entered my door. What about those people who went in? Did they get the treasures?" The hexagon starfish was silent again. Not yet. Han Fei was speechless. What do you mean, not yet? Don't you know whether you can get out or not? Well, Master Hexagon, how about we make a deal? When I become a dangling fisher, I will come back to help you out. How about that? I'm just a fishing master, but I don't have the ability. That person left 5 opportunities in my 6 doors. If you are related to that person, you may be able to get them. Then what about the last door? That's my own treasure. If you can let me out, I can give the treasure to you. Master Hexagon, then tell me who that person is first. I will go find him and become his apprentice, and then I will let you out immediately when I come back. This is a more reasonable logic. I can't just let go of the treasure. The hexagon starfish was silent for a while. It seems to make sense, but I don't know what his name is. I only know that he has a beard. Han Fei rolled his eyes. I'll go to the sky to find this person for you. Beard, our village leader still has a beard. Old Jiang also has a beard. Chao Fei also has a beard. It seems that everyone in the world has a beard. I'll find someone to let you out, okay? I know an old Jiang who is a very powerful spirit gatherer and can control water. Read 2. Chapter 104. If I let you go, you won't come back. I promise I won't run away. I will definitely come back. The hexagon starfish replied, That person said the same thing, but he has been gone for 300 years. Han Fei cursed the bastard who imprisoned this thing 10,000 times in his heart. Why did you put this thing in an ordinary fishery? Do you think anyone in an ordinary fishery can survive it? Everyone here is a fisherman. Han Fei was silent for a long time. Can I breathe in your door? If I can't breathe, I will die after a long time, and then no one can save you. A bubble suddenly appeared in front of Han Fei, and Han Fei burst into tears. F***CKU. Actually, I just want to run away. If I want to breathe, I can actually go into Forge the Universe to breathe. Why can't I be sensible? However, Han Fei still took a deep breath of the air in the bubble. God knew if he would be able to breathe again in the future. Hexagon Starfish asked, Are you ready? Not yet. Then wait a little longer. I've waited for 300 years. 1 or 2 years doesn't matter. Han Fei wanted to beat this thing to death. Do you want to lock me up for 1 or 2 years? Han Fei was indeed not mentally prepared, but his fear of the hexagon starfish was gone. So he asked, Why can you speak in my head? Can all sea monsters over level 30 talk? I don't know. I was caught when I just reached adulthood, and I haven't seen anyone else who can talk. The fish and shrimps here are very weak and not enough to be food. In the past 300 years, haven't you encountered any mysterious creatures? Or legendary creatures? Hexagon starfish, no. What's in your treasure house? How about I go to your treasure house first? Let me tell you, I cultivate very fast. If I can make a breakthrough and improve my strength, maybe I can survive. The hexagon starfish was silent again. After a while it said, What do you lack? If you can't even survive 1 door, what's the point of giving you the treasure house? If you survive the first gate, I can let you go to my treasure. Han Fei snorted. This hexagon starfish is really bad. It wants me to let it out, but doesn't want to give me any treasures. At that time, Han Fei said, Casually, I need a lot of spiritual energy, at least 100,000. 200,000 points of spiritual energy. Yes, do you have any? If you have it, I can quickly increase my strength, and then I can enter the door. However, as soon as Han Fei said that, a mass of liquid appeared in front of him, surging with spiritual energy. He seemed to see the spiritual spring in the boat-burying pit. F***CK, is he that rich? Han Fei was dumbfounded. I didn't mean it. Who knew that the blockhead would take it seriously? However, wasn't it a bit too much for this thing to take out so much spirit spring water so casually? Hexagon starfish asked, Can I? Han Fei said helplessly, Okay. Looking at the spiritual spring in front of him, Han Fei was helpless. Fine, I'll improve it as much as I can. Otherwise, as a junior peak-level fishing master, he didn't think it was possible for him to come out alive. Han Fei didn't refuse and sat cross-legged on the spiritual spring. Deduce. Under the gaze of the hexagon starfish's 6 big eyes, this mass of spiritual spring water was quickly entering Han Fei's body, causing its curious eyes to shake back and forth. It seemed to be very strange. How could a fishing master absorb so much spiritual energy? It knew that a fishing master couldn't absorb it, so it gave it to him. However, the hexagon starfish didn't take back the spiritual spring. Compared with being trapped here for 300 years, the spiritual spring water was not worth mentioning at all. Spiritual energy flashed on Han Fei's body. He didn't know that the whole sea surface had been set off by strong winds and huge waves, covering thousands of kilometers and reaching hundreds of meters high. This was almost impossible to happen in ordinary fisheries, but now it happened. Unfortunately, Han Fei didn't know it himself. About half an hour later, void fishing was successfully deduced. Existing art, void fishing, level 2, hook god technique, remarks the first universal art in ancient times, written by the 9 king-level masters in ancient times. When the book was completed, heaven and earth cried with the raging waves. It was the supreme of all arts. Although the art had been deduced successfully, it was not the time to practice it. Besides, cultivation was also for spiritual energy. The spiritual spring in front of him had only been reduced by half. Han Fei decided to practice the incomplete monograph on 108 ways of body polishing to see if it could continue to enhance the upper limit of his spiritual energy. If it couldn't, he would make a breakthrough. Before practicing, Han Fei took a look at his data and was surprised to find that there was a change. Owner Han Fei, level greater than 13, junior fishing master, spiritual energy greater than 90,006, 629, spiritual heritage, level 3, medium quality, upgradable, spiritual beast, twin yin-yang spirit swallowing fish, weapon, purple bamboo rod, main art, void fishing, volume 2. Hook god technique, mysterious level, divine quality. Han Fei was stunned. The upper limit of his spiritual energy had been broken. The upgradable function of his spiritual heritage was activated again, and the void fishing had become mysterious level, divine quality. He immediately realized that it was all because of the cultivation art. When he became a fishing master, his cultivation art didn't upgrade, so the upgrade status of his spiritual heritage disappeared. Now that his cultivation art had been upgraded, the upgrade status of his spiritual heritage immediately appeared. In this way, the next time his spiritual heritage couldn't be upgraded, he would have to upgrade his cultivation art. When he saw the change in the upper limit of his spiritual energy, Han Fei immediately began to practice the incomplete monograph on 108 ways of body polishing. For this reason, Han Fei began to drink the iron fish body polishing fluid. Han Fei's whole body was red as if he was being steamed. After practicing 108 postures, he found that the upper limit of his spiritual energy had become 636 points. Twice. At first, every time he practiced 108 postures, the upper limit of his spiritual energy increased by 7 points. But later, when he practiced for the 5th time, it only increased by 4 points. There was less room for improvement. With a thought, Han Fei sat cross-legged again. Upgrade my spiritual heritage. Half an hour later, the hexagon starfish found that the spiritual spring it gave out was all absorbed by Han Fei. At this time, it couldn't calm down. You've absorbed a lot of spiritual energy. Except for the small increase in strength for the first time, your strength hasn't improved much. If this is all, why don't you enter the door first? You don't understand. Do you know what it means to accumulate a lot of spiritual energy? I'm accumulating it now, and it's almost done. But it's not enough. I still need 100,000 points of spiritual energy. This time, I really only need this much. If I still haven't made progress, you can give me no spiritual energy. The hexagon starfish was very hesitant. This guy eats spiritual energy too fast. It has been accumulating spiritual energy for a long time, but Han Fei ate a mass of it every now and then. How could this be enough? But after hesitating for a moment, the hexagon starfish still threw out a mass of spiritual spring. This is all I can give you for the time being. After all, in such a place with generally low life potential, it will be very difficult for me to absorb spiritual energy. I still need spiritual energy for my own use. Don't worry. Just wait and see. I won't let you down in a few days. With that, Han Fei began to make his strange postures again. You can only improve your physical strength in this way, but it's not much, but it's really useful. I hope you can really become stronger in a few days. 2 days later, Han Fei took a breath of air into the bubble. His upper limit of spiritual energy was stuck at 699 points, and he couldn't continue to improve it, so he stopped cultivating. The hexagon starfish asked, "Are you done? I don't see you using this spiritual energy. I'm going to use it now. Open your 6 big eyes and watch carefully." Breakthrough. That mass of spiritual spring frantically poured into Han Fei's body, and Han Fei's momentum was indeed growing crazily as he said. The hexagon starfish's 6 big eyes kept rolling, seemingly surprised that Han Fei could really improve his strength. He seemed to have made a breakthrough. Han Fei was indeed making a breakthrough. His physical strength was improving and his physique was getting better, especially his skin, which seemed to have become stronger. It wasn't until Han Fei broke through to the peak of an intermediate fishing master and the mass of spiritual spring was almost sucked dry that he slowly stopped. The hexagon starfish asked, "Can you go in now?" Han Fei was infuriated. "You only know how to urge me. Haven't you been waiting for 300 years? What's wrong with waiting a few more days? Don't worry. To ensure that I can save you successfully, I have to cultivate for another 2 days and stabilize my current realm." Read 2. Chapter 105. With that said, Han Fei moved his eyebrows and released Little Black and Little White. Little White swam to the remaining bit of spirit spring water and swallowed it all in one gulp. The hexagon starfish muttered, "Your spiritual beast is about to evolve." Little White swallowed the spiritual spring, and Han Fei secretly said, "Not bad. It's a good thing to take a free benefit." Then Han Fei looked at Little Black, who had flown to the hexagon starfish's tentacles and was biting them with his teeth. "Can you tell your spiritual beast not to bite me? He hasn't reached the juvenile stage yet and can't bite me." Han Fei was also embarrassed. Why does Little Black eat everything? Now your master is counting on this big starfish to survive. If he wants to bite me, he should wait until he is alive. Little Black, come back. Han Fei took back the 2 fish. Since this hexagon starfish could see Little Black, it meant that its level was very high. And it was a mysterious sea monster, so he had to be careful. If he slapped Little Black to death, who could he turn to? 5 days later, Han Fei practiced the incomplete monograph on 108 ways of body polishing 7 or 8 times again, and finally raised the upper limit of his spiritual energy to 799 points. Han Fei knew that he might not be able to make another breakthrough in a short time. Even if he stabilized his realm and made another breakthrough, the hexagon starfish wouldn't give him any more spiritual energy. "Okay, open the door." The hexagon starfish was pleasantly surprised. "Am I finally going in?" 6 purple lights spread out like a fishing net, and gradually 6 purple portals appeared. Han Fei couldn't see inside, so he didn't know what he would encounter. "Master hexagon starfish, what's the situation inside your portal? Can you tell me?" The hexagon starfish replied, "It's just another space. It's not big." The hexagon starfish wouldn't tell him. The point was that it really didn't know. "I finally spent nearly 300,000 points of spiritual energy. I can't spend it in vain. Then which portal is the least dangerous? We have to start with the least dangerous one. Otherwise, if I die as soon as I go in, who will come to save you? Let me tell you, in the ordinary fishery. I'm afraid I'll be one of the strongest people you've ever seen. If I die, you'll have to wait for another 100 years for someone as strong as me to come." The hexagon starfish thought it made sense, so it said, "The second door on your left." Han Fei took a deep breath. He was ready. The crazy devil's rod, fury, and the fusion of his spiritual beast were ready at any time. With all these, he was much stronger than Li Gang. Han Fei even suspected that he could fight a junior great fishing master. If he couldn't even use this trump card, then he could only blame his bad luck. Phew! Since I can't get out, I'll take a gamble and turn a bicycle into a motorcycle. Han Fei stepped in. The light and shadow changed, and a huge space appeared. Han Fei's blood froze as soon as he came in. This space was the size of a football field, and there were bones everywhere on the ground. Anyone would feel numb. Not human bones. This was swordfish bone, ironhead fish bone. Giggle, giggle. At this moment, the bones lying on the ground began to move. In the blink of an eye, hundreds of swordfish bones floated up in the distance. F***CK. Master Hexagon, let me out. Hey, brother, Hexagon. Hexagon. F***CK. There was no door behind Han Fei, but a group of bubbles popped up from time to time, which should be for him to breathe. But the hexagon starfish didn't respond. Han Fei knew that he had been fooled. He was really a big idiot. He knew he couldn't come in. This thing was killing him. At this moment, tens of thousands of swordfish bones and ironhead fish bones here all floated up, and the eyes of these fish bones were glowing with a faint blue light. Shit, are these F***king ghost fish? Han Fei hurriedly covered his body with a spiritual energy protective cover. He saw that some swordfish bones had already launched a charge at him. F***ck you when I get out. Without 1,000,000 points of spiritual energy, I won't be able to enter the gate again. BM! Han Fei swung his rod and hit a swordfish bone. It was not as powerful as he imagined, but the power of the bonefish was not weak, about the same as that of a junior fishing master. If he hadn't become an intermediate fishing master, he might not have been able to suppress it. BAM! 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 Han Fei swung the stick horizontally. He was using the sweeping stick to its fullest, using all the 3 major elements of chopping, sweeping, and stabbing, and his body made various weird angles to avoid the bonefish that were rushing at him. At first, he could still face dozens of them, but when the dense bonefish rushed at him, Han Fei couldn't dodge them. Clang, clang, clang. Clang, clang, clang. Damn, damn, damn. Bam, bam. BAM, F***CK. Han Fei didn't know how many swordfish bones stabbed him, nor how many times he was hit by the ironhead fish bones. In any case, he only knew that he was sent flying and was forcefully knocked into the air. Crazy Devil's rod, clang, clang, clang. While being stabbed, Han Fei punched and hit with the purple bamboo rod. In just a moment, hundreds of bonefish had been smashed, and Han Fei himself was even worse. Although these swordfish couldn't pierce his body, his muscles were sore because of being poked. The ironhead fish were even more terrifying. When they hit him, Han Fei felt that his internal organs were rolling. But Han Fei couldn't stop. If he didn't fight now, when he was knocked to the ground and couldn't fight back, how could he fight back? This scene was extremely tragic. After an hour, Han Fei's face was bruised and swollen. There was no place on his body that wasn't bruised, and his hand holding the purple bamboo rod was trembling. But what could Han Fei do? He took out a bottle of iron fish body polishing fluid and drank it. Kill! 3 hours later, Han Fei's entire body was sore. Every inch of skin that was poked was burning. It was so painful that he had forgotten the concept of pain. Fortunately, although Han Fei felt that he was about to fall apart, these fish couldn't really pierce him. They couldn't break his defense. On the contrary, his indestructible body was improving at an incredible speed. At this time, his muscles, bones, and internal organs were all under an incredible impact. Han Fei believed that if it were someone else, someone like Li Ju would definitely be killed in less than 5 minutes. What kind of freaking person was he? He had actually held on for a full 6 hours. Han Fei was struggling to hold on. He wanted to fuse with his spiritual beasts, but the fusion of spiritual beasts depended on the occasion. If his spiritual beast was some kind of mutant big turtle, it wouldn't be a big deal, but Little Black and Little White could only improve his attack and sharpness, but they had no advantage in defense at all. If he fused with them, he might have to bite the bones. How uncomfortable would that be? However, looking at the thousands of fish bones on the ground, Han Fei felt a little better. As long as he didn't die, he could try his best. 1 day later, Han Fei was numb. He didn't care about the impact of these bonefishes at all. His only purpose was to take away a bonefish every time he attacked. 2 days later, the number of bonefish in this space was reduced by more than half. 3 days later, only sporadic bonefish rushed at Han Fei. Han Fei just let them hit him and chop them off. When the last bonefish was chopped off, Han Fei was instantly ejected out of this space. The hexagon starfish was excited. "You survived! You survived! You must be that person's disciple! You must be!" In fact, on the first day after entering, Han Fei had guessed that these bonefish seemed to exist specifically to help him cultivate the indestructible body. They couldn't break his defense, but they could stimulate the all-round progress and improvement of his body. It would be strange if this had nothing to do with Ren Tianfei. But Han Fei didn't move at the moment. He lay on the ground and glanced at the hexagon starfish. "Give me enough air and let me sleep. Otherwise, I can't guarantee that I can still stand when I enter the second gate." Okay, don't worry. Take your time to sleep." Han Fei slept for a day and a night. In his sleep, he felt that his muscles were jumping as if they had been hit by something, and his whole body trembled from time to time. When Han Fei opened his eyes again, he held the air mass and took a deep breath. "Let me go to your treasure trove first. I need to see if there's anything suitable for me in it. Only then will I have a better chance to break the second gate." Read 2. Chapter 106. Han Fei didn't want to work for this big starfish stupidly. Since it saw hope, he had to get some benefits, right? The key was that the introduction said that this hexagon starfish was a mysterious creature that treasured treasures as much as its life, so it must value the treasures very much. If he didn't get them now, he would have to wait until he liberated it. At that time, he wouldn't be able to restrain a powerful sea monster. The hexagon starfish was a little resentful. "Human, my treasure house has long been emptied by that person. There's nothing good left. If you can enter the other gates first, I can give you some more spirit spring water." Han Fei chuckled. "I don't believe you. You are so evil. You want free labor? No way." Han Fei said, "Master Hexagon Starfish, I think it's necessary for you to take me to your treasure house. If there is something that can improve my strength, it will greatly help me enter the other gates. Don't forget, I almost died in your first door. I called out to you for 3 days, but you ignored me. There are prohibitions in this gate. Even I don't know what's inside. I don't care. I'm going to see your treasures first. I promise I won't take many things away." The hexagon starfish replied, "My treasures are really a bit small. Okay, you can go in, but you can only take 10 things at most. Otherwise, I think I can hold on for another 2 years." Han Fei's face turned black. Sure enough, treasures are treasures. A gate as big as a football field, and you only give me 10 things? Han Fei thought about it. Fine, 10. In any case, there were still 4 more doors at the back. He could take a little first, and then bluff the ones at the back. Han Fei said, "Okay, I'm just going in to see if there is anything that can improve my strength." Among the 6 gates of the hexagon starfish, the purple net on one of them disappeared, revealing a dark, empty gate. Han Fei stepped in. The big starfish didn't have to trick him. After all, It was still waiting for him to let it go. Han Fei felt his eyes light up, and the flashing golden light almost blinded him. Fuck! Looking at the mountains of gold and shining stones in front of him, Han Fei couldn't stay calm anymore. Han Fei asked, "Master Hexagon Starfish, didn't you say you took away all your treasures? Why are there still so many of them?" "All the good things have been taken away by that person, but you can't take away the golden stones. You can take something else. You can take 10 of those that don't shine." Han Fei was amused. Why is she the same as the legendary dragons? He only liked to collect shiny things, but what was the use of gold? It was a treasure on Earth, but here it was just an ordinary piece of metal. The area of this space was also the size of a stadium, and the gold and glittering stones occupied most of the space. Han Fei casually picked up a fist-sized diamond. Is it really a diamond? Hexagon Starfish, no. It can glow. This thing is worthless. Except for its good looks, it has no special features. Why do you want it? I like shiny things. Han Fei tossed the diamond into the pile of rocks. He had no interest in these random things. Walking around the stone mountain, Han Fei didn't know whether to laugh or cry. So the good stuff was really taken away. Damn it. What the hell are the rest of them? It was a pile of sticks, probably picked up from the bottom of the sea. However, as his main weapon, Han Fei certainly wouldn't let go of the sticks. Isn't this He Xiaoyu's bamboo stick? No, it's not as good as my purple bamboo stick. I've never seen this red stick before. Han Fei's eyes flickered. Red lotus stick, mortal level, mid-quality, made of natural red lotus wood. Slightly increases strength when used. Han Fei threw it aside. Mortal level, mid-quality is nothing to me anymore. Han Fei continued to search. Fire bamboo, mortal level, high quality. Natural fire bamboo, not polished or refined. Will erupt with high temperature when used. Cyan mystic stone, mortal level, high quality. The best material for refining mortal level weapons. Blue jade, mortal level, high quality. Long-term or cannot be afraid of high temperature and cold, can be refined. Han Fei glanced at them one after another. Some he could see, and some he couldn't, but they were basically all mortal level materials, which seemed to be useless to him. And a fishing rod. Black iron rod, mortal level, high quality, made of millennium black iron and blood spider silk. Can increase fishing probability. Han Fei was stunned. A mortal level, high quality fishing rod? He thought for a moment. He was only using fine iron fishing rods, which were not even mortal level. So Han Fei took this black iron rod without hesitation. Han Fei continued to search for gold and various gems. He threw away the so-called treasures one by one, like throwing garbage. Purple jade? Han Fei saw the first purple stone and a purple bone, which seemed to grow out of the bone. Purple jade, rare quality spiritual jade, made of the marrow of the purple gold arowana bone, can be refined into a rare quality magic weapon. Han Fei's eyes lit up. This was the first time he had seen a material better than mortal level. He had to keep it. He also glanced at the purple bone. Purple gold arowana bone. Rare quality. The bone of the purple gold arowana bone can be refined into a treasure or ultra-quality magic weapon. Wow, there are 2 of them. It seems that there is something here. Han Fei also found a small black token under the bone. It was black and had the word prison written on it. He thought for a while. This kind of thing was probably extraordinary, so he could keep it. Human, all the good things have been taken away. How about I give you 2 golden beads, and you come out first? Han Fei chuckled. Is there a problem with my head? What's the use of golden beads? Don't worry. Let me take a look. It took Han Fei half an hour to open the gold mountain. As soon as he opened it, Han Fei's eyelids twitched. There was a big tripod hidden inside. Han Fei immediately smiled. You could have just hidden the treasure under the golden mountain, but you still dug it out for me. This big black tripod was actually not big. It was less than 1 meter high, had 3 feet, and had 3 fish-shaped side pillars on the top. But to Han Fei's surprise, the demon purification pot didn't give any reaction. Forget it. This big starfish is very bad. It must be good stuff, since it was hidden so secretly. Han Fei quickly took out the gold, diamonds, and colorful gems in the tripod. The hexagon starfish was anxious. This is just a useless broken pot. I use it to put shiny things. It's okay. I don't mind. I only look for treasures. Huh. When Han Fei took out all the things in the tripod, he found that there was a black bead at the bottom. Han Fei seemed to realize something and immediately said, "This bead is not shiny. I'll take it." The hexagon starfish said, almost at the same time as Han Fei, "That bead was with me when I was born. I can't give it to you. You said I could choose it by myself. I don't want anything else. This bead is just a useless bead." Han Fei thought to himself, "Who are you kidding? First you put a gold mountain on it, then you hid it in the tripod, and then you stuffed other things into the tripod. Ren Tianfin, who robbed this treasure, probably didn't even bother to look through it. Otherwise, this thing probably wouldn't have fallen into his hands." The point was that in his eyes, this bead showed 3 question marks. Han Fei stuck to his principle that all the question marks must be good. "Anyway, I'll take this black bead. It's not shiny. It's like an iron ball. Why do you want it? But you promised me 10 things, and I just took the 6th. I don't want the last 4. After a long time, the hexagon starfish responded, "I'll give you something in exchange." "No, this bead is mine. I won't lie to you. This is a black bead, a mysterious object. It's not of much use to you humans, but it can increase the mysterious characteristics of mysterious creatures like us. I have Little Black." The hexagon starfish replied that Little Black Fish's talent is stronger than mine, so this black bead is dispensable to it. If you don't believe me, you can ask it to come out and have a look. Han Fei was puzzled. With a flash between his eyebrows, Little Black and Little White came out. Han Fei put the black bead in front of Little Black. "Is this good?" Little Black stepped forward, circled it several times, spat a few mouthfuls of saliva, and then ran to play with Little White. Han Fei thought he had picked up a treasure and couldn't help frowning. "Then what will you give me in exchange? I don't want ordinary things." Beside him, a pile of gold and gems suddenly shook, and then a small black seal floated in front of Han Fei. Read 2. Chapter 107. Han Fei reached out and grabbed the little black seal, but as soon as he grabbed it, he knelt on the ground. Fortunately, he let go of it in time, or his hands would have been smashed by this thing. F***CK. Master Hexagon, why didn't you tell me this thing is so heavy? The water-stirring seal, ultra-quality magic weapon, is cast from the seabed water-stirring iron. It weighs more than 10,000 kilograms, but is as light as a feather after being collected. Water-stirring seal technique. Han Fei was tempted. Compared with this unknown black bead, he thought this little seal was awesome. The key was that it was as light as a feather after being collected. Then, if I carry this thing and smash people. Han Fei didn't dare to imagine that scene. Even fishing masters might not be able to withstand it. This thing was simply a divine weapon. With it, he would basically be invincible in the level 1 fishery. Han Fei said, "Master Hexagon, I'll leave this little black bead to you." As for the other things in the hexagon starfish's place, Han Fei didn't care about them at all. All the good things had been taken away by Ren Tianfei, and the defective ones were left here. The hexagon starfish was very happy that this guy didn't rob him of his golden treasure. He thought Han Fei was a stupid cultivator, as stupid as that guy 300 years ago. That guy also took away some messy things. He didn't even know what those things were for. Anyway, he just took them away. Han Fei asked, "Master Hexagon, how do I take this little seal? I can't carry it." The hexagon starfish only needs a drop of essence, blood, to refine it. Take it away quickly! Take it away quickly! Han Fei seemed to have discovered something and exclaimed, Master Hexagon Starfish, you didn't give it to me because it was too heavy, did you? Seeing that the hexagon starfish didn't speak, Han Fei was even more sure. Yes, the weight of this little seal is as heavy as more than 10 tons of gold. He must have thought it was too heavy, but I didn't. Han Fei quickly dripped a drop of blood on the little seal. After the blood penetrated it, Han Fei seemed to feel something. But what should he do next? The hexagon starfish instructed, nourish it with your own spiritual energy. It will be very fast, just a few dozen seconds. Han Fei was once again sure that this big starfish must dislike this little seal. Otherwise, why would it urge him? A few minutes later, Han Fei walked out of the treasure trove, shaking the seal in his hand. The small seal felt almost nothing in his hand. It was as easy as using his twin knives. Apart from that, the small seal kept growing bigger and smaller. At its largest, it was 10 meters wide, but Han Fei felt that was because he was not strong enough to make it bigger. Get bigger, get smaller. Tisk tsk, I don't know if this can kill this big starfish. It shouldn't be possible. After all, it has been carrying this thing for so many years. If it couldn't bear it, it would have been crushed to death long ago. Hee, interesting. While Han Fei was sneering, the hexagon starfish said, Human, shouldn't you go to the second gate? Han Fei pondered for a moment and realized that it made sense. If he encountered those bonefish again, Han Fei would be fearless. Bonefish? Ironhead fish? I'll make them kneel before me with a brick. Han Fei asked, Master Hexagon, will the bonefish in the second gate become stronger again? Let me tell you, if I can't bear it, let me out quickly and let's fight again another day. Don't leave me in there and ignore me. Otherwise, if I die, no one will let you go. The hexagon starfish replied, I can't perceive what's inside the gate. Of course. Han Fei didn't believe it. This big starfish was very naughty. Maybe it was watching the show. Then keep the gate open. If I can't bear it, I'll run out myself. The hexagon starfish replied, if someone goes in, it can't be opened. But you must be that person's disciple. You must be fine. In the past 300 years, no one has survived the first gate. You are the first. Ha. Han Fei took a deep breath and stood at the second gate. It's okay. Now my skin, flesh, organs, bones, and marrow have all been strengthened. Although I haven't mastered it yet, it should be no problem. Kill! Holding the water-stirring seal, Han Fei rushed in with all his might. However, the scene in front of him suddenly changed. The whole space was red, and he didn't even see a F** king fishbone. But just when Han Fei was puzzled, the red in the water began to boil, like spiritual energy, and a large amount of red gas was drilling into Han Fei's body. Ouch! Hot! Itchy! Master Hexagon, open the gate. Brother Hexagon, F***CKU Hexagon. Help me, Han Fei almost cried. Where's the bonefish? F***CKU. He felt that he was almost cooked, as if being steamed in boiling hot water. His eyes were burning, and he couldn't open them. Most importantly, Han Fei felt that the surface of his body was being steamed, while the inside of his body seemed to be expanding. In just a few minutes, there was a rolling heat flow in his body, stimulating his flesh and blood. An hour later, Han Fei felt that his body was no longer his own, and the hot seawater was almost boiling him. He felt that he had grown taller and seemed to have gained weight, and his belly had become bigger. 2 hours later, Han Fei managed to adapt to this damp place, but the torture was still unbearable. It was as if someone was cutting his flesh with a knife, but the flesh didn't feel the pain anymore. Maybe he was used to it, or maybe he had a mental breakdown. Han Fei felt that he was on the verge of a mental breakdown at this moment. What made him collapse was not only this torture, but also that he found that he had gained weight again. 1 day later, if someone could see Han Fei, they would find that a ball appeared in this pale red water. Yes, it was the kind of ball that could be kicked. Han Fei felt that he was going to die, and his body seemed to be about to explode. In his body, there was a mass of explosive energy, which was not even spiritual energy, condensing into a red bead the size of a baby's fist and mixed with his dantian. 2 days later, the red bead was already the size of an adult's fist. Han Fei almost cried. I look like I'm pregnant. No, pregnant women can't be as fat as me. I look like a 999-kilogram fatty. The only thing that made Han Fei feel lucky was that the redness in the water was fading and seemed to become the bead in his belly. 3 days later, Han Fei's ball-like body began to gradually become thinner. But in the end, when Han Fei was ejected from the door, his whole body bounced on the ground 3 times. Han Fei didn't get up, nor did he speak. He just lay on the ground, holding his belly with his hand. If Han Fei was a very handsome teenager before, now he was an ugly, obese patient. If he had to use a quantifier to describe him, Han Fei used to be a 99-kilogram thin man, but now he was like a 999-kilogram fatty. The hexagon starfish muttered, You've become fatter. Go away. I don't want to talk to you. I helped you out of the abyss of suffering, but you just watched me suffer such a huge injury. Doesn't your conscience hurt? Don't you feel guilty? Hexagon starfish. Your body has become stronger, much stronger. I don't want to. I want to lose weight. Look, you are that person's disciple. You survived, which shows that you are very different. Han Fei chuckled. Do you know that I almost exploded in the door? When I was at my fattest, my belly was thinner than the shell of a small white shrimp. As long as a needle poked me, I would explode. Han Fei was very resentful and had cursed Ren Tianfei more than 10,000 times in his heart. I just want to look for treasures. Why did you put a level 36 starfish here? Have you ever considered whether I can survive or not? If it were anyone else in the ordinary fishery except for them, they would have exploded a long time ago. Hexagon starfish asked, What about the third door? I'm a fatty. In fact, the larger the body, the stronger you are. I'm a fatty. Do you want to take a day off? I'm a fatty. The hexagon starfish was immediately dumbfounded. Can you just stop nagging? What's wrong with being a fatty? Did I eat your big yellow croaker? Han Fei replied, I'm not happy. I'm going to sleep. After sleeping, I'll change back. Then Han Fei kicked the ground, looked up, and muttered, I'm a fatty. Read too. Chapter 108. Han Fei realized that the environment in each gate was different. If the bonefish in the first gate devastated him, then the unknown liquid in the second gate made his spirit desperate. Sometimes he even felt that death was a happy thing, but he couldn't die at that time. Han Fei slept for another day. He had been down here for more than 10 days, but he felt as if he had died countless times. Human, are you going to enter the third gate? Master Hexagon Starfish, do you know that you owe me a big favor? I don't want to continue this anymore. The Hexagon Starfish was silent for a moment. If you can finish the other 2 gates, I can give you some more spiritual spring. Give it to me now. Are you going to cultivate again? No, I have to get the spiritual spring first so that I can feel safe. Sure enough, a mass of spiritual spring appeared in front of Han Fei, but it didn't seem to be much. However, Han Fei didn't care. Anyway, he was a fatty now. He opened his mouth and swallowed it. Just like the swallowed spirit soup, he could drink more than 30 bowls. However, unlike the swallowed spirit soup, which was mostly water in the stomach, the spiritual spring water would be converted into spiritual energy and stored. In the end, Han Fei looked at the increase of 50,000 points of spiritual energy and said reluctantly, Master Hexagon Starfish, your spiritual spring is too little. It's only 50,000 points in total. The Hexagon Starfish almost cried. Is this human a demon? Why is his stomach like a bottomless pit? The Hexagon Starfish scoffed. I have accumulated 300 years of spiritual energy, but but you have used up 80 years of it. If you continue to use it, I will die." Han Fei's eyes lit up. "What? Does this big guy still have 220 years of spiritual spring left? This news is great. Master Hexagon Starfish, do you really not know what's in the gate? I haven't been able to check these doors since 300 years ago. There seems to be a barrier inside. I'm going to enter the third gate. I'll wait for you outside. I'll thank you, human. I accept your gratitude. So please give me the spiritual spring." "You're fine now. Why don't you go in first?" Han Fei's eyes flashed, and he rushed at the third gate without hesitation. He didn't believe that there was a gate more terrible than the second gate. Maybe he would lose weight when he reached the third gate. Swish! As soon as Han Fei went in, he felt a pain in his butt. He looked back and saw a glowing arrow stuck in his butt. Then he saw the arrow gradually dissipate. Only then did he find that it turned out to be condensed by spiritual energy. Han Fei gritted his teeth and touched his butt with his hand, only to find that his butt was covered with blood. Holy *T, help. I'm really going to kill you this time. Swish! 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 Han Fei was dumbfounded. He saw hundreds of glowing arrows shooting at him. "Damn you, Ren Tianfei. If I don't die, I'll beat your head up." At this moment, Han Fei was really in a panic. The first 2 times it couldn't break his defense, but this time it was for real. As soon as he was pricked, he immediately bled. I'll flash. I'll flash. I'll flash. Unfortunately, he was no longer the skinny man he was half a month ago. Now, with his fat body, he felt like he was suffering every time he completed an unconventional evasive move. "Rin Tianfei, I wish you will be beaten up by your enemies." Ow! Fortunately, there seemed to be only 100 or so arrows of light, and every time they hit him, their power would decrease. 3 days later, when there were only about 30 light arrows left, Han Fei stopped moving and allowed the arrows to pierce through his skin. He would not bleed much now. However, Han Fei found a good way to lose weight. He could lose weight by bleeding a little. He felt that he had lost at least 20 kilograms. When Han Fei flew out of the door, he was covered in blood. Han Fei vomited blood. "Master Hexagon Starfish, hurry, hurry. Spiritual spring, I feel like I'm dying. Give me the spiritual spring." However, the Hexagon Starfish froze for a moment. "Your breath is very strong. I feel that your vitality is stronger than mine." Han Fei cursed in his heart and said weakly, "No, my internal organs are rolling. Do you know what's in the door? Is it really going to kill me this time? I'm covered in blood. Are you kidding me? Your internal organs don't seem to be displaced. What do you know? My internal organs are shaking. I feel that I've hurt my origin, and my soul is about to die out. This matter is very serious. Without 100,000 points of spiritual spring, I can't get up." Luckily, the Hexagon Starfish didn't know how to curse. If he had been in contact with human beings for a few days and learned how to curse, he would have cursed aloud. Why did he meet such a shameless guy? Can't you be more convincing? I've seen through you, okay? I don't have much spiritual spring left. Nonsense. You still have 220 years left. But I've been consuming it in the past 300 years. I've already given you half. I don't care. Without 100,000 points of spiritual spring, I don't think I can survive the 4th door. Master Hexagon Starfish, look at me. I've become a fatty for you. Doesn't your conscience hurt? Starfish don't have hearts. I can't feel the kind of pain you said. Han Fei's face turned black. Are you going to give it to me or not? The Hexagon Starfish was helpless. In the end, a mass of spiritual spring floated in front of Han Fei, but Han Fei bounced up from the ground and swallowed it. After a while, Han Fei complained, Master Hexagon Starfish, why are there only 50,000 points? Where are the other 50,000 points? The Hexagon Starfish was silent for a while. Although I don't have a heart, I feel that my 6 tentacles are restless and a little out of control. This time it was Han Fei's turned to be taken aback. He quickly said, "You have to learn to control yourself. Violence can't solve any problem. We humans are all about reasoning." However, in the next moment, Han Fei saw that 4 tentacles of the big starfish began to rise. Han Fei shouted, "Master Hexagon Starfish, I think it's more urgent to help you lift the barrier. In order for you to leave as soon as possible, I'll enter the 4th door first." Han Fei slipped into the 4th door with a swish. At this moment, his heart was still pounding. No, the strong can play by the rules. I have to become strong as soon as possible. Yes, this bad starfish has cultivated for 300 years and only reached level 36. It's too slow. His talent must be very poor. Give me a few years, and I'll be able to cut off your claws and roast them. Huh. There seems to be no danger in this door. Is the danger over? No, there is danger. Bam! Han Fei felt as if he had been hit by a mountain. Why was it so familiar? With a bang, he was sent flying. Who the F*** CK attacked me? In the air, Han Fei looked back and exclaimed, because he saw a large mantis shrimp again. Name, Mutant Mantis Shrimp King, level 20, quality, exotic, contained spiritual energy greater than 1,200 points, edible effect. The meat is extremely delicious and can strengthen the body. Edible effect, mutant mantis shrimp beads can greatly enhance the body's strength. Collectible mantis shrimp beads, absorbable. Han Fei broke out in a cold sweat. Last time he had just killed a mantis shrimp king, which was only level 18. But what level was this mantis shrimp king? Little black, come out and protect me. Han Fei called out a few times and tried to think, but there was no response. No, I can't summon it. Bam! The mantis shrimp king suddenly rushed in front of him and hit Han Fei's stomach with a hammer, knocking Han Fei hundreds of meters away. Han Fei stretched out his hand and took out the water-stirring seal. Although he didn't know what method this space used to isolate the connection with his spiritual beast, the demon purification pot didn't seem to be restricted by this. He decided to knock it to death. Aren't your fists powerful? Let's see which is more powerful, your fists or my water-stirring seal. Ha! No, it didn't break my defense. Han Fei patted his round belly. In theory, few creatures in the level 1 fishery could resist the blow of the mantis shrimp king, not even the armored turtle, unless it was the legendary rock-holding turtle. But when it hit his belly, it didn't break his defense. Han Fei blinked a few times and immediately took the water-stirring seal back into the demon purification universe. He clenched his fists. It's just a shrimp. I want to eat mantis shrimp today. Read 2. Chapter 109. Han Fei threw the purple bamboo rod aside, activated the wandering dragon art, and rushed up and punched. Bam! However, Han Fei still underestimated the speed of the mantis shrimp king's punches and was punched more than a dozen times on the ground. Wow, you're faster than me. If I hadn't become a fatty, I would have beaten you up in minutes. Bam! 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 A man and a shrimp were fighting. Of course, at first, Han Fei was sent flying more often, but he knew more than 100 weird movements at a time. When he practiced the incomplete ways of 108 ways of body polishing, Han Fei knew that his dodging ability had been strengthened. He was no longer limited to 108 postures, but could do any complicated posture. So only an hour later, the Mantis Shrimp King could no longer send Han Fei flying. Han Fei was quite proud. Mantis Shrimp, your punches are so fast that even ghosts can't see them clearly. At this moment, Han Fei punched the Mantis Shrimp King's extended forelimb, and the Mantis Shrimp's 5-meter-long head was smashed and rolled several times. Are you convinced? Call me Dad. The Mantis Shrimp King seemed to be furious and rushed at Han Fei with its 6 short legs. However, Han Fei turned around and rolled on the shrimp's head. Thud! 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 Han Fei didn't know how many punches he had made. Anyway, he felt a little pain in his hands, but the Mantis Shrimp King's shell didn't even break. Han Fei immediately took out 2 daggers and stabbed it hard, but it was still useless. In the end, he took out the water-stirring seal and pressed the Mantis Shrimp King to the ground. Putting away the water-stirring seal, Han Fei walked slowly to the Mantis Shrimp. "Are you convinced now? It's a pity that I can't make a fire in the water. Otherwise, I would stew you now." "Huh? Wait." Han Fei suddenly realized that he seemed to have turned on the demon refinement function. This mutant Mantis Shrimp King was an exotic creature. Did it mean that he could fuse with this monster? As soon as Han Fei thought of this, the gourd on his wrist glowed, and a huge Mantis Shrimp King disappeared in front of him. Han Fei quickly looked at the demon refinement function and found that a mantis shrimp was placed on it. Unfortunately, there was only one, which didn't seem to meet the fusion conditions. "That's strange. You absorbed it. Shouldn't you be my pet? How did it turn into a picture?" Han Fei scratched his head, picked up the stick, and walked slowly to the exit. No, I can't go out like this. A few minutes later, the hexagon starfish saw a bloody hand stretching out of the door. The hexagon starfish's 6 big eyes moved back and forth. Is this human really seriously injured this time? After a while, Han Fei's 2 hands and a head stretched out, both dripping with blood. "Mr. Hexagon Starfish, help me. I feel like I'm dying." The hexagon starfish asked, "Why is your skin gone? There is a great horror inside. Hurry up! Give me the spiritual spring." The hexagon starfish had never seen such a scene before. Han Fei looked like he was seriously injured this time, and this time he only went in for 2 hours. Could it be that there was something different behind this door? After a while, Han Fei crawled out of the hole, covered in blood. At this time, a mass of spiritual spring floated above Han Fei's head. The hexagon starfish didn't want Han Fei to die, for gates had been broken and there was only one left. If Han Fei died at this time, wouldn't the spiritual spring that he had accumulated for hundreds of years be wasted? The point was that the seal hadn't been broken yet. Han Fei sucked the spiritual spring in big mouthfuls. With every breath, the skin on his body grew a little again, and his bloody body was recovering at a speed visible to the naked eye. It wasn't until the whole mass of spiritual spring was sucked up by him that the injuries on his body were mostly healed. Han Fei looked at his 240,000 points of spiritual energy and thought to himself, "This big starfish is really generous this time. He actually gave me 100,000 points." But on the surface, Han Fei finally got up from outside the door, staggering as if he could fall at any time. "Mr. Hexagon Starfish, I feel that the last gate is a bit difficult. I'm afraid I can't pass it. Human, don't worry. I can wait." "But I can't wait. I have hundreds of subordinates waiting for me to go back. Their children are crying piteously, and their parents are waiting for them to support them. If I don't go back, they will all die." The hexagon starfish was silent for a while. "How about I let you go to my treasure house again?" Han Fei suddenly laughed. "I've been robbed." "Is that a treasure house?" "It's called a garbage dump." "Mr. Hexagon Starfish, I think if you can give me another 100,000 points of spiritual spring and let me recover to my peak, maybe I can still fight." The hexagon starfish was silent for a moment. "Human, did you cause the injuries on your body?" Han Fei was shocked. Can this guy see what's going on inside the gate? Did he discover that I'm cultivating the indestructible body art? No. If he found out, why would he give me 100,000 points of spiritual spring? Han Fei looked sad and indignant. "How dare you doubt me? I worked so hard for you. How dare you doubt me? Do you know what's in the gate? 300 big fish that can spit fire. Look at my skin. It's all burned up. Just think about it. What will happen if your skin is gone?" The hexagon starfish scoffed, "But the spiritual spring you want is too much. In just a few days, you've used up my 100 years of savings. How can a human need so much spiritual spring?" I'm not an ordinary person. Let me tell you, there is a 10,000-year-old grandpa hidden in my body. Do you think I want so much spiritual energy for myself? No, I borrowed his power to walk through the 4 gates in a row. Do you think a few 100,000 points of spiritual spring is a lot to ask for a 10,000-year-old antique? Looking at Han Fei's sincere and sad expression, the hexagon starfish thought for a while. There seems to be something in your body. Otherwise, with your physical strength, you can't even bear a few thousand points of spiritual spring, let alone hundreds of thousands of points. But can I see the one in your body? He is in my soul. How can I show him to you? If you can give me 150,000 points of spiritual spring, then I can show you his power. Han Fei staggered as if he would fall at any time. Give it to me, I'll be fine. I'll show you fury then. However, in the end, a large mass of spiritual spring floated above Han Fei's head again. That's all I have. I can't give you the rest. Otherwise, even if I go out, I will be killed by other mysterious or legendary creatures. Han Fei didn't mind. So be it. I'll eat these 100,000 points first. After a while, Han Fei looked at his data again. Owner, Han Fei, level greater than 16. Intermediate fishing master. Spiritual energy greater than 340,006. 799. Spiritual heritage, level 3. High quality, upgradable. Spiritual beast, twin yin-yang spirit swallowing fish, weapon. Purple bamboo rod, main art, void fishing, volume 2. Hook god, mysterious level, divine quality. Han Fei estimated that he couldn't get any more spiritual spring, but he had to put on a good show. He quickly sat cross-legged, only to see that his skin grew back again, and after a while he was as good as before. Han Fei twisted his head, making a clicking sound, and his momentum suddenly erupted. Then he exclaimed, "It feels so good to have a spiritual spring. Master Hexagon, my injuries have healed. I'm going in." The hexagon starfish asked, "Don't you need to cultivate? Judging from your situation, just now, the last gate may be very difficult." Han Fei said seriously, "Master Hexagon, don't worry. I am a kind-hearted person. I can't bear to see you suffer in this sea of suffering for more than 300 years. So I'm going now. Wait for me." The hexagon starfish's 6 big eyes flickered. Is this human really a kind-hearted person? I feel something is wrong. But Han Fei entered the 5th and last gate without hesitation with his rod. As soon as he entered the gate, Han Fei took a defensive posture and immediately looked back, only to find that there was nothing. Even the seawater was no different from ordinary seawater. From a distance, he saw a stone table in the middle of this space. It can't be. Is that damn Ren Tianfei so kind-hearted? Is there no danger in this gate? Han Fei tentatively walked towards the stone table step by step. After a while, he found that there was really no danger, so he walked over quickly. There were a few pages of paper on the stone table, as well as 2 stones, one black and one purple. Han Fei looked down, only to see the words, "For my disciple," written on the paper. F*CK off. You want to be my master? What the F*CK? You almost tortured me to death. How dare you be my master? Read 2.